Check 1 2, check 1 2. Kitchen Witch is in the building, and Knox is in the building. Welcome in, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining. Welcome into the stream. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. If y'all are coming in for the first time, Huey G, welcome in, brother. If you're coming in for the first time, make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. If y'all are joining Track Talk for the first time, I would love to know where y'all are joining from. I would love to know if you make music, the kind of music that you make, and we will get moving with just a few tracks today, a handful of tracks today here in just a minute. Joseph Upton, it's good to see you. I appreciate you tapping in today. Ashton, welcome in. Story, Not a Human, welcome in. MSP is in the building. Welcome in, y'all. Adrell, thank you for joining the stream as well. Once again, y'all keep tapping. Share out the live with a few people. We'll get rolling here in just a second. Joseph, thank you for the heart, me brother. I appreciate that. We'll get rolling here in just a minute. Once again, let me know if y'all are over on TikTok. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know if you make music, the kind of music that you make. And we'll get rolling here in just a few minutes. Let's see. Azrael, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Your music if I make music, or the music I like. We're talking about your music. So I'll explain the live stream structure here in just a couple minutes. Once I get the different platforms up and running, I'll give you kind of the insight on the whole structure of the consultations that we do, the whole structure of like the live format, in breaking down and talking through the structure of your music, mix, production, sound design, lyrics, songs, stuff like that. Leah, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Welcome in. But yeah, we are talking about your music, not like popular music or stuff like that. We're talking about music that you make, music that you're a part of. Lizard's in the building. Welcome in. Double check a few things as we get rolling here as well. Henry's in the building. What's up, Henry? William, welcome in. Ken is in the building. Chad, keep tradition. Welcome in. CJ, welcome into the live stream. Y'all appreciate y'all joining. How y'all feeling today? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Connor is in the building. Oh, hey, nice. Same. Not since middle school, but I've been playing piano since I was 6 years old. Which at this point is what, 26 years playing piano. It was one of the first, I started drums first, but it was one of the first instruments that I learned. Jared, welcome in. Jared, appreciate you being here. If y'all are on TikTok, make sure y'all like tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me. It does really help out the live stream. We will get into the structure of the live stream here in just a few minutes. We will be listening to maybe 4 songs today, something like that. It's going to be short and sweet today. It's going to be a little bit more limited. I am getting on pretty late, just trying to catch up on a couple things. Once Lost in the building, welcome in. Logan's in the building as well. I appreciate y'all being here. Once Lost, I believe I got you up here already, so give me just one moment and we'll get you flowing. Okay, I got you. Take your time. We're just getting things flowing here. Let me get you back up on the board, ready to go. You're up there. Boom. Yeah. You're fine. I haven't even really kicked off everything yet. For life, welcome in. I'll explain the live stream to everybody, and then if you're in here, we'll run with your song. If it's someone else, and we'll run with theirs, and then we can kind of switch it up. Let me see. Let me double check a few things here. Perfect. I'll be here. I want to learn guitar, and specifically electric guitar, just so I can do the solo. Hello. Hold on. I can't read my camera. Oh, soundtrack. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Guitar is fun. I mean, I do recommend that most people start on an electric guitar just because the action's a lot easier. I feel like it's a lower barrier to entry as far as like building calluses and stuff like that. But I started on acoustic initially, actually, and then got into electric a little bit after that. But guitar is fun. I've got a couple in here that I really enjoy. Matthew, thanks for tapping in. You want to hear a song that I'm pretty much done with and greatest in the mastering, or do you want one in progress? Once Lost, it depends on what you want to get out of this, I guess. Like if you're wanting me to check kind of a more finished project and be kind of a last point of second ear on it before you kind of send it to distribution, or if you want some more like structural ideas and critiques and structure before you even get to the mastering point, because sometimes there's stuff before that needs to be worked out. Kind of depends on what you value the most. I just want to make sure you get the most value out of this. So yeah, that's kind of up to you and what you think would be really valuable for you. I will say most people send in earlier projects, like projects that still need maybe some structural work, just so in case you do need to fix anything, you're not already like two revisions into an analog master or something like that, and you got to keep backtracking stuff. But obviously, that's completely up to you. Story, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you tapping in for a little bit. I appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. I got you. Up on the board. You're ready to go. Eric, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Thanks for joining the stream today. Okay, let me go and get into a quick spiel here. I'll get into a quick spiel here, and then we'll go ahead and kickstart the live. But let me double check a few things. Let me just make sure I've got all of this organized. Give me just one moment. One moment, and then we'll Man is in the building. Hi, man. Welcome in. Separate Fact, welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. Y'all keep tapping the screen. We're going to get flowing here in just a sec. Just a sec. Let me get a few things updated here. Make sure I've got all of this refreshed, and then we will dive in. I'll explain the whole live, and we'll get into the details here in just a moment. I'm just making sure this will actually refresh because it says it's still loading. So I'm just making sure I don't got some Wi-Fi issues or something like that. But I hope you all are doing amazing today. Lou's in the building. What's up, Lou? I mean, Kendrick's awesome. He's one of the GOATs for sure. For sure. I think that's pretty undeniable. All right, let me see. Ben is in the building. What's up, Ben? Welcome into the stream. Okay, I think this is loading. Yeah, I think it did load up for me. Perfect. I have the track from the other day. Okay, let's get into it. I'm going to give you all a quick little spiel here before we dive into the live stream, so I can let you all know kind of what we do here and the structure of what we do here. You did send an email the other day, so it should be in your sent. It's the Track Talk submission one. At Gmail, I believe. I try not to put it too much on here just because TikTok can be a little tricky with stuff like that. But it should be in your sent. So go, you'll find it there. Track Talk submission, something like that. Diaz, welcome in. But for those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. I appreciate y'all joining the stream, taking some time out tonight or it's night for me at least, taking some time out in order to for sure. I feel that. If you need any reminder as well, it's at my profile. If you click on the link, you'll see the same email at the submission link there as well, if it helps to just copy it over. But if you've never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. I'm glad y'all are here. We're going to get into some of the details of the live stream. If you have never been here before, what we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultations on the structure of your music. They are long, they are detailed, they're incredibly nuanced. We are going to listen to your song 2 or 3 different times to get into the details and the nuances of your mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, and writing. We're going to really get into the details of what you're doing both creatively and practically within the structure of your music. This is not a quick review. There is no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It is a detailed long-form consultation to really get into the nuances of what you're doing in your music. I'm not here to trash you. Like I said, this is not a review. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not here to give you exposure. There's a lot of different places where that is their forte, and that's what they're trying to do. If that happens, if the algorithm kicks on and you get some movement for your music, you get eyes and ears on what you're doing, fantastic. I love it. It's just not my priority. It's not the way that we have formatted this stream to kind of be directed at. We are here to really get into the details of your music, spend, like I said, 20 to 30 minutes getting into those details, and hopefully offering you some specific, professional, and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. musician. That is what I do for a living. It's what I've done for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So the whole structure of this live stream, the whole perspective of it is kind of from that perspective. So we can really get into the nuances of what you're doing. For anyone, Deacon, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. For anyone who would like to submit your music, go to my profile. If you're on TikTok, go to my profile. VC, thank you for the follow. Go to my profile again, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the steps there. You'll see the submission link right there. Read through and follow all of those steps. We'll get you up on the board. We'll get you in line, ready to go. If you do follow both steps, I will get notified. I want to make sure that we get you up there. If you are on the purple app right now that we're also live on, you can type !submit right there in the chat for that link. If you are on the red app, YT, that we are also live on, you can go to the description for the live stream, and you'll see all the steps right there as well. You'll see the link right there. Let me double check a few things here. But yeah, once again, if you're on TikTok profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. Once lost, I just got your email as well. Big South City Music, thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. Let me get this downloaded. Let me see, but I think I got everything organized here. Let's see. And we should be just about ready to go. I appreciate y'all tapping in today. It's gonna be a little bit of a shorter live. I'm on late right now. I'm not typically on this late. So it's going to be a bit of a shorter live today, but we'll still be on for a handful of songs, just a handful of songs. And then we'll get into it. Sounds good, Wenceslaus? Yeah, we'll give it a minute. I'm going to keep things rolling here for just a little bit, hopefully chat with y'all a little bit. If y'all are coming in for the first time, I would love to know if you make music, the kind of music that you make, where you're joining from, so on and so on. We'll chat for just a little bit, and then once Lost comes back in, we'll kickstart the live, and we'll get the music rolling here in a second, or as soon as we get the next person in here potentially before that. I'm just going to try to keep everything organized. Joey's in the building. Welcome in, Joey. Let me get a couple things refreshed here as well. That was collection. I mean, yeah, that's obviously everyone's going to have a nuanced opinion on that, but I mean, there's an argument there. Obviously, that solely depends on if you're a fan of what he did, of course, and a lot of people are. Volume is normal. Stream volume low. Then Joey, you got to swipe out, swipe back. That's just a weird TikTok issue sometimes. Vito, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. It happens, but it's just a TikTok thing. Swipe out, swipe back, close the app, come back in. And it should be normalized for you, or just make sure that it's clicked up on your phone. You'll be ready to go. But yeah, volume should be normal. I get feedback on the meters for not only obviously the stream part of it, but also OBS, TikTok, TikTok Studio and everything here. And it all looks pretty normal. Brandon, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. First time here in VA. I write my lyrics and use Suno to make and their studio. I don't know what the last part, what you're trying to say there. Sob Texas, welcome in as well, but I understand the first part. Deacon, I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for being here in the stream. I appreciate that a lot. Once again, if anybody wants to submit for a consultation, we're taking a handful of songs today. It's gonna be short and sweet. I'm waiting for one of the first artists to come back in before we play their music and get everything rolling here. I will never listen without y'all. You listen to Afrobeats? Absolutely. Any genre, any level of preparedness, any level of quality. I say this, almost every stream as we get into just the spiels and stuff that we're doing. But we will hear everything from voice memos to Grammy-winning musicians. It's all the way across the board. Within the same live stream, we had someone send in a voice memo of them humming a melody in a Starbucks booth so we could help them build like a chord progression and structure around what they're doing. And we also, in that same live stream, had a Grammy-winning, I think it was a trumpet, either trumpet or saxophonist. I can't remember, but a really prolific musician. So we're going to get a lot of variety as far as style and genre, as well as levels of quality. Some people have been making music for 2 weeks or, a couple months, and then other people have been, working in major studios and with major labels and publishers for, decades at a time. Dan, if you want to submit any music, if anyone wants to submit their music, you definitely can. Just go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the details there. We'll get you in line. We'll get you ready to go. We're going to start with our first song here in just a little bit. I'm just waiting on one of the artists to come back in. But yeah, if you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. Excuse me. A little Texas allergies kicked in here for a second. But there is an order to submitting, so I want to make sure I get everyone in line in the right order. Sounds good, Eric. Sounds good. I look forward to hearing it, man. Eric, thank you for the cake slice. I appreciate you. For private, what's up, Joel? Torvik for prime minister. Prime minister of what? We gotta figure that out too. Do Interstellar. Oh man, Interstellar. I gotta. What's the Interstellar? Interstellar is one of my favorite movies. It's one of the most impressive films I've ever seen. I've seen it so many times. I love it. So I'm pretty sure it's like a 4, 5, 6. Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. Yeah, follow the third. What's up, Kyle Grace? Welcome in. Can you play thong song? Wait, what the hell is thong song? There's an E flat for you. Oh, we're just getting started. I got an artist or two coming in over there. I'm just waiting on some. They're like putting their kids down there and coming back in. I would. I'm sure I would. So it's not off the 7. Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'll put one in front if they're just coming in. They're going to take a little bit of time, and as most people know, you never know how long kids are going to take. So let me double check. All right. Let me get a couple things organized here, y'all, and then we'll dive in. Once again, it's going to be loose today. It's going to be short and sweet. Quite literal. We actually only take that, Joel. That's all we take. We actually only take AI remixes of Mariah Carey songs. Boss Made Productions, welcome into the stream. I hope you're doing absolutely fabulous today. Let me see. I'll tell you what, I'll do the process because that's long. Yeah, let me know. You know the deal. The slop daddies found a home. People who don't understand that are going to be weirded out, but it's fine. You'll get it someday. The slop daddy has found his home. It's real. Only Mariah Carey hardcore opera remixes. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to refresh something over here and it's not working. There we go. Now we're set. Me, welcome in. Appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, if anyone wants to submit, you can go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the steps there. We'll get you up on the board. But we're going to be short and sweet today. I'm waiting on a couple songs. They're coming in. A couple I already have up, but I just need to, I'm waiting on them to, I think one I have their email for. Let me go ahead and get it set up here. And then one I'm also still waiting on. And then we'll be out of here pretty quick. It's going to be like 3 or 4 songs. Ariana Grande Suno. We'll do some exclusive lives, Joel. That would actually be kind of funny. This is making me want to do this, where we have a live dedicated to a particular like artist aesthetic or something like that, where it's like you can only submit music for this live if it is songs based around Ariana Grande, and you can send in your Suno-Iranian booty bounce music. That would actually be brilliant. AI versus musician lives. Ooh. All right. I like it. All right, let me double check here in a second, Kyle. You followed all the steps? Yes, I believe you did, because I think it's right here. We're gonna go ahead and kick it in though, Kyle. We'll start with you. Because it might take a moment for wants lost to get back in here. Okay, Kyle, you should be good. I'm just waiting on your email, Kyle. As soon as your email comes in, I got you. Actually, ooh, that's actually nice. I didn't realize that I had activated MIDI for 2 different pianos. So I have the Earth piano here. This is Roland. Just beautiful. It's very warm. It's an upright piano. And then I have my like kind of Steinway model grand here. And that's obviously a lot brighter, but the pair between the two. Get a little bit of chorusing between the two. I kind of like it. It's got this nice modulated like 80s edge to it. Nasty. It's also highly overcompressed because I'm clipping with both of those on. You're not using Nero Oxford. No, I'm not. We're raw dogging it. Let's see. I've looked with both of those companies. I've had both of them reach out to me. Especially Oxford is, man, they were in the boxes for a hot minute there, pretty heavy. I looked at both platforms and ended up just keeping it the same way I've been doing it for the last couple years, and I've preferred it for a couple small details. Let me see a couple things here. Does that have to be my music or can be? I mean, I prefer that it's music that you're connected to in some way. Just because we spend a lot of time. I literally spend like 30 to 40 minutes sometimes per song. So these are very long form consultations as we get into them. And so the more that you know about the structure of the music, the process of tracking, how they're going about the mixing process, how they're actually building out the structure of the song, the more beneficial it is. Like the whole goal with these breakdowns is to be as valuable as I have the capacity to be with whatever knowledge I might have in the vein of what you're doing. So if you don't have a clear direct connection, there's just less of that. So people do. I've had just like managers and labels and agents and stuff like send in, songs of people that they manage and stuff like that where they don't even know. I don't know what guitar they used or how they mic their amp or anything like that. They're a little bit more disconnected from it, but you definitely still can. It's just not going to be nearly as in depth as I typically like to get with these breakdowns. Jensen, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Okay, Kyle, I do have. Is this released, Kyle? I'm not sure about much. My dad's the drummer. Amazing. Yeah. I mean, we can definitely still do a breakdown. Just keep in mind that they're paid consultations. They're about 20 to 30 minutes a piece, sometimes longer if I'm getting into it. It's a long form breakdown. It's really detailed. It's really analytical. So that's kind of the whole structure. That's kind of the whole reason why we do it. So I can absolutely still do that for your dad's song. We can still talk about the structure. We can still dig into the details of it and celebrate it and get into the nuances of it. I'm more than happy to do that as long as you feel it would be something that would be valuable for you. That's always want to make sure that I'm bringing as much value to the people that are submitting as possible. It released on the 22nd of May. Okay, let's get into it. So it's on Spotify. So let me crank up Spotify here real quick. Let's see. It's Miracle by Escape the Curfew. Okay, give me a second. Escape the Curfew. Escape the Curfew sounds familiar. Oh no! I'm sorry. I'm like connecting the wrong names right here. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Boom. I was like, wait, I know that. I was like, I know this name. It's like, of course I do. All right, let's see. Miracle, Waiting on You. Okay, let's go and get straight into it. Let's go and dive into it. I don't want to wait any longer. This is a song called Miracle. By Escape the Curfew, parentheses, It's Waiting on You. This is Escape the Curfew. So let's dive into it, man. Let's get into the details. Let's lock into the structure of this. Do me a favor really quick, Kyle, as well. Of course, I've heard some of your stuff before. Let the people know as well. This is already released, but the role that you play in the structure of your music. So as far as, and this also changes for people. It's the reason why I always ask this when artists come in, even if they've come in 5 times, is people are constantly going back and forth between producing for themselves, leasing beats, working with production teams, working with session musicians, going to the studio, going back and forth, right? Self-engineering, working with engineers, so on and so on. So I always want to make sure that it's that I'm updated on the role that you're playing in your music, so I can get into it that way. And I got you. Okay, let's get into it. Let's dive in.
We were 60,
first listen, y'all. Let's go.
Thought that I'd make it, but God gave me another plan. You slept with that tall man,
Yeah.
turtleneck jumper, pretty man. Oh, gut wrench, throat lump, that's what it did to me, man. Turtleneck, tighter now, pretty man, empty now. Betrayed by my kind, only nature at its peak. Waiting for a miracle, I know you won't come clean. Hiding in the shadows with a smile fit for the screen.
Great vocal structure, man.
Oh, I'm still waiting, waiting on you. Waiting, knowing you won't tell me the truth. You shine under lights, I fade in the night. Waiting on a miracle, a miracle. We were young in the night, you were selling the lies. Playing devil's advocate, no future in our eyes. Street lights flickered, flickered at your side. The future's in your hands and your mind stuck on the lines. Oh, I'm still waiting, waiting on you. Waiting, knowing you won't tell me the truth. You shine under lights, I fade in the night. Waiting on a miracle, a miracle.
Let's go. Bass is beautiful. Really like the bass lines.
Pretty man, emptied and cold. Searching for an end to the torture he's endured. Tied down to the tracks, slipping through the cracks. Gave up on the miracle, the miracle. Oh, I'm still waiting, waiting on you. Waiting, knowing you will tell me the truth. You shine under lights, I fade in the night. Waiting on a miracle, a miracle.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Let's get back over here. Show some love to Escape the Curfew. The song is called Miracle. Took me one take. Let's go. On the drums, it took you one take? That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. Yeah, pockets really clean. Everything feels really tight. Y'all give it up one time for Kyle Gracie, who's right here in the chat. He is the drummer on that record as well. He does have his own music. I've heard some bits of, but this is the band Escape the Curfew. Definitely go show them some love and support. One take on the drums is when you get into that pocket and everything seems to flow and come out really naturally. That to me is that's a sweet spot right there. Y'all show some love to Kyle. Let's get into it, man. There's like some tiny little things that we'll bring up. We'll chat through a couple little details, but the overall structure of this, I think, is fantastic. It feels really raw, feels really organic. I love so much of what's going on here. Danielle's in the building. Danielle, so good to see you. I appreciate you tapping in. Great vocal structure, pockets clean, especially for one take. On the drums. That's fantastic. That's awesome. Okay. Let's run it. Miracle, Escape the Curfew. Once again, like I always want to mention, this song is out on all platforms, so please go like the track, yes. Go like the track, go stream it, go add it to your playlist, all that fun stuff.
Remember we were 6.
Love this early introduction of this vocal as well. Feels very, very clean. Thank you so much for the heartbeat. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. I love seeing your posts from the camp / whatever it is that you're doing right now. Just looks so vibey, so much fun. I love that. Okay, let's get into it.
Remember we were 16, dreaming of flowers in the backseat.
Really cool voice.
Thought that I'd make it, but God gave me another plan. You slept with that tall man, turtleneck jumper, pretty man. Oh, gut wrench, throat lump, that's what it did to
I love all the texture in the vocal right here. It's got some grit to it. It's got a little, I don't know, it's got some energy to it that feels like really authentic. It really grabs me. Like from those first couple lines, there's a lot of really interesting inflections in the vocal that I think sound so like cohesive with the rest of the production. It feels really nice to listen to.
Turtleneck, tighter now, pretty man, empty now, betrayed by my kind, only nature at its peak.
Some good punch in that vocal there. Is that a fake mic? No. My wallet wishes so.
Hiding in the shadows with a smile.
I can see that. I can see that. No, it is very much so a real microphone. Very much so.
Oh, I'm still waiting on you.
It is. It is.
Knowing you won't tell me the truth. You shine under lights, I fade in the night.
Okay, there's one little thing coming up here I want to dig into. Okay, right here, I want to shift back. Wait, where'd my piano go? All right, it's E minor. The song is in E minor. So you have this. Right, the main structure right here. I was gonna buy the same one for $350. Is it worth it? If you can find this mic for $350, send it to me. I'll buy it right now and I'll sell this one for a major profit and buy a bunch of other stuff. Okay, that'd be fantastic. That'd be very fun. Vaughn, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. All right, let me back it up here a little bit. Okay, so one of the only other things that I'm listening for here, like I said, most of this structure, I feel like this is about 10x that. It's about 3,600 new, something like that. The actual structure of the progression right here, the way the bass moves with the change of the progression afterwards. And most of this feels really cohesive, really well connected. Like everything works really brilliantly together for this hook. And then when you get into this interlude here for just like one measure, just like there's like one little bar, 4 counts that you lead in right here. The bass goes to one note. I want to say that it resolves maybe back to the E minor, but the rest of the chords don't. You have all this tension right there, and it might be intentional. It might be part of the reason why you're building it out that way. But there's this like this dissonance and this tension right there that to me isn't the most flattering, and I kind of wish that those pieces worked a little bit more connected. I wish they were a little bit more connected right there. So we'll go back, we'll listen to it for a second. I'm gonna lowball the offer and give him 150. Dude, that'd be brilliant. Just get it for 115, flip it for like 2,500 used or something like that, and just buy a bunch of other stuff. You'll be ready to go. It might be like if someone were to be selling a mic that looked like this, it probably is like an MXL 990 or something like that. They kind of look a little bit similar, but obviously they're very, very different microphones. I think you're thinking of a different mic. Wait, what do you mean? You're thinking of it. I'm thinking of my mic. I'm thinking of my mic. Okay, let me back it up. Hear all this here. Back to the E minor, C, A minor, D. Yeah, so you hear, don't do that, Jesus. You'll hear the piano that goes, yeah, you can hear the piano, not the piano, I'm sorry, the bass walks all the way back down to the E minor. So that A minor, back up to the D, and then you immediately hear the bass go back down to the E right here. As soon as the bass hits that E, I want to say that the rest of the other instruments are like still resolved on the D. So you get kind of all this tension between the two, the low E minor, or I'm sorry, it's just the low E root paired with the D major that everything else is flowing on right here. So I'm going to back it up another 5 seconds here. Right here. They all resolve in between, and then they like kind of reconnect right there. I kind of wish, just from like a tension standpoint, that everything, miracle, like the bass went back down to the D for a second to kind of build that transition, and then everything kind of came in back together on the E minor. That might not be the intention of the record. So that's why I always want to preface it. Like, so much of this is just like stylistic decisions that everyone can make different ones. There's not really a right or wrong answer to it. It's just what sounds good to me. I kind of wish those chords were connected a little bit better, or maybe there's a different chord of tension. Like if they're going to go back to the E, maybe they went to a G major instead of the D. That way you get that seventh over the top right there. The D just gives it a lot of tension between the E minor and the D major right there. Personal preference. Every time it goes to that, my ears are kind of like, it seems a little muddy. You get a little mud kind of in the low mids right there between the bass and the lower elements that are filling that void. But that's just also personal preference a little bit too.
You were selling the lies, playing
I really like the tone of the bass though. Like there's a lot of really great bass movements in this whole song. Tone of the bass, like mix on the bass, I think it's fantastic. I think it's really, really well done.
advocate, no future in our eyes. Street lights flickered at your side. The future's in your hands and your mind stuck on the line.
Great clarity on the vocal.
Oh, I'm still waiting on you. Waiting, knowing you will tell me the truth.
That's cool. So there's a little bit of callbacks to older records. Like the song, I think it's on here for like 2023. Yeah, from 23. So you have some like callbacks to older. I always love that because it's one of those things where it's like you might not know until you do, if that makes any sense, where it's like early on, like when you don't have a ton of fans of what you're doing, maybe no one's going to understand that or really get it when they're finding random songs on playlists and random songs through social media and stuff like that. But in the event, as you push and as you grow and as you gain more exposure, the people that know are going to really appreciate that. Love or hater, this is one of the things that Taylor Swift has done really well on, right? I'm not really a fan of her music that much. Doesn't really matter to me. But when you like have these Easter eggs in your song and callbacks to old records, old situations, old stories that you told, that keeps this like through line of fandom through all of your music. They're always kind of wondering what's going to happen in your music that's connected, like these through lines through all of your music. I think that's really cool that you're doing it. I don't feel like a lot of people are really doing that because everyone's just vying for the single. They're just vying for the viral post and stuff like that. And so I feel like Devil's Advocate does 100,000 streams. That's amazing. That's fantastic. And we got to, I think with some of your new records, you can push to get back there as well. I mean, you have 344 monthly listeners. That's not nothing at all. But I do think you can push to get to a space where you're getting a little bit more consistent exposure for your music. And obviously, you all have the talent to do it. Such a cool chat and comedy. Love the detail. Thank you so much, Once. I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad you were able to come back in today. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this next part of the song here. We'll hear this transition one more time right here. Same tension. Great solo. Dennis, welcome in. I really appreciate how warm this is, how open it feels. I think it's fantastic. Like I said, this is not a style or kind of a process here that you want to overproduce or overmix. I want this to feel very natural, very easy to listen to. It shouldn't be like over brightened or over exaggerated or overinflated in any part of the profile. It should feel very, very warm and easy to listen to. And this is a mix that you can crank. You can really, really turn this up loud without anything feeling harsh or abrasive to listen to. Very, very even balance on the mix, which I can really, really appreciate. Good filler with the rhythm guitars while the lead takes kind of the forefront here. I'm gonna back it up. Right, like you're keeping like the quarters on the bell, and bing, bing, bing with the boom, boom, kind of like triplets with it, and or like triplets with an off note, the boom, 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 you kind of get kind of this syncopation going in the background. It's nice. It's nice. It's a good switch away from some of the other rhythms throughout like the verse and hook and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot to love about this, man. There's a lot to love about this. Like I said, every once in a while you get a little bit of tension between just like some of the production elements, but like a little bit of mud sometimes. But honestly, I would prefer that in a more natural mix than something that's over filtered and over processed and over produced. I would prefer a little bit of natural mud and tension between real organic elements like you have in here than overdoing it the other end when it's like too pristine and sterile and polished. That to me, it does not elicit any emotion in the way that something has like kind of these flaws and these intricacies to it. So I really appreciate a lot of what y'all are doing. I think it's fantastic, man. Sometimes it is, man. Sometimes it is. Sometimes more is, it's one of those, that's the fun thing about art. That's the fun thing about music is like sometimes like less equals more. Sometimes less is too less and we need more energy and structure. And then sometimes more is more and we want more because more is better. You know what I mean? It's like, so it just really depends on the structure of a song and it really depends on what you're trying to squeeze out of this particular piece of creativity. But in this instance, I like the individual simplicity of each thing. Like the drums aren't doing anything crazy, but what they're doing, they're really solid in their pocket. Even the solo itself is not shredding crazy all the time. It's like fairly simple rhythm structures with good melodic choices, with good bends and good hammer-ons. Like it feels like it's got good texture to it. Obviously, the balance is great. Tone selection is really good as well. There's so much that's going on here that I think is just really well selected, but not any one thing is going crazy. Now, the bass has some good movement to it. The bass actually, Roy, thank you for the follow. The bass actually has some really good movement to it. Some of those walk downs and some of those movements there I think are fantastic. It maybe is probably one of the more busy elements of the song, but I do think that it all works together really, really beautifully here. Like nothing is really way outside, like way outside the box. Everything is really working together, pointed in the same direction. Vibes, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot.
Pretty man, emptied and cold, searching for an end to the torture he's endured. Tied down to the tracks, slipping through the cracks, gave up on the miracle, the miracle. Oh, I'm still waiting on you.
We'll hear this breakdown again here, real quick.
Oh, I'm still waiting on you.
There's a part of me, I want to hear it one more time. There's a part of me, and again, this song is out, so ignore me at the same time. I'm telling you what I hear so that hopefully over any course of time, whether it's y'all or anyone else in the chat can start to just, utilize some of the things that we're talking about in their own music. I wish there was like maybe even a little bit more time right here or a bit more resolution of these chords and the dynamics here before this next breakdown hits, because the mix is so warm. Like the drums aren't really bright. They're not highly, highly, highly crazy compressed. They sit in a very natural pocket of the song, which I think is beautiful. I think it's mixed really well. But because that is the case where you don't get this huge snap when they come in, because everything's pretty natural sounding, feels pretty loose and pretty organic as far as like dynamic control goes and compression. You don't get this huge snap or this huge boom when like new elements come into the mix. It feels fairly soft of a reintroduction here. That being the case, I would like to hear a little bit more resolution before that transition happens so that that dynamic range feels even broader. There's still quite a bit of like chord information, quite a bit of the guitar still in before the drums actually like kick in and restart that last hook on the outro right there. I'm wondering if even just another 2 counts would have let some of like the guitar feedback a little bit, let some of those rhythm guitar chords resolve for a moment, and then kind of kick in the next section right there. I'm just curious if another 2 counts in a situation like this would allow some of those dynamics to resolve, those chords to resolve. That way the kick back into the last hook right there with the drums feels even more intentional, even more impactful. Maybe I hope you're not as well already. You see me before and excited. Thanks. Is it barely here? Thank you so much for tapping in. I really appreciate you tapping in. Let me know if I've seen you on another platform so I can make sure that I kind of know where things are coming in from. But thank you so much for the follow over on Twitch as well. I really appreciate it. I've only been working on this for a couple hours, but I like where it's going and want to share it. Dude, beautiful. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'll keep an eye out for it as well. All right, Aiton, it's good to see you, brother. I hope you're doing amazing. Sorry, I just saw you over on TikTok.
Oh, I'm still waiting.
Like there's still all that chordal information. There's a little tom buildup on the background of the drums, so you don't get that like resolve and more dramatic dynamic range of just like letting like a feedback kick in there and then pull it back in for the big kick at the last end of the hook right there. But y'all show some love, man. I love a lot of what you're doing, Kyle. I love a lot of what you're doing, man. You're obviously all very prolific musicians. You're talented. You understand structure. This is a good, clean hook. It's catchy. Great recording structure. Like everything feels really, really clean and very, very well structured. So, I mean, even the things that I'm talking about are also just like some personal preferences that I, as an engineer, or producer, or musician, have, and that's going to be a different perspective for everything. You know, like everyone's in a different spot as far as the way that they approach, the way that they balance something, and the way they build production structure. So I don't want you to put too much weight on that too. I really, really love the way that y'all are building the structure of your music. I think it's awesome. I don't know if I should still call my song Empty Room Breakdown. I mean, that's an interesting name. I don't mind that name. Some news. Tell me, Kyle. Tell me. I'm excited. Y'all show some love one more time for Kyle. The song's called Miracle, parentheses, Waiting on You by Escape the Curfew. If you like what you hear, it is out on all platforms. Go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist, so on and so on. You can go show them some love and support. Let me get a couple things updated here, right here. And then let me know, Barely Here, are your initials TC? Let me know if that's you, just so I make sure I get the right name up on the board. I do want to make sure that I get everything organized and in the right space. I showed you a song called One Night I Do With My Girlfriend. Ooh, I remember that. We unfortunately split up, but I came back to your stream because I love the things you say. Dude, I'm for one, I'm so sorry to hear. It could be such a, obviously depending on a myriad of different reasons. It can be such a frustrating thing to deal with. It can be such an emotional thing to deal with. So I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I'm sorry that you're having to walk through something like that. That is not an easy thing to do, no matter what the circumstances are. And so I appreciate your vulnerability in coming in here. I appreciate your ability to come in here and pour that into your art. Pour that into something that you're passionate about, and use that as an emotional outlet for all of the things that you're feeling, man. Some of the best music in the world has come through frustration and tension and heartache and heartbreak. It's come through financial struggle. It's come through so many things. So you're in good hands, man. I'm very, very glad. I'm very, very glad that you're able to come in, man. I appreciate you so much. Sorry for the thing that you're going through, but hopefully this community, man, and just the music community in general, because it can be something that lifts you up and gives you something to kind of lean on a little bit while you're going through the things that you're going through, man. I appreciate you so much. But yeah, okay, let me know really quick. My driving test in 2 hours. Hey, good luck, Kyle. Good luck. I'm glad to hear it. Lucas, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Okay, let me double check a few things here. But yeah, let me know who TC is. Let me know. I just want to make sure I connect the right name. Just want to make sure that I get the right name on here. So let me know who sent that in. But let's go ahead. We got the Once Lost in the building. The Once Lost, welcome in. Once again, if y'all want to submit your music, you definitely still can. I only got time for like 2 or 3 more songs. It's short and sweet today. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow all the details there, and we will get you up on the board. We'll get you in line, ready to go. Short and sweet today. So last couple songs here in the live stream. Thank you, brother. I love what you see about the music I do, and I've listened to yours as well. And thank you so much, Kyle. That means a lot, man. I do not really promote I'm terrible. I don't promote my music. I don't really put much out. I put a song out like every 18 months. I would love to do more, hopefully in the near future, but I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Anytime that someone says they happen to listen to something, it means a lot because I don't really put it out there. So thank you, Kyle. I appreciate you, man. Let's get into it. So this is switching songs because the other one is nearly done now. So switching to this one. Looking forward to hearing feedback on this. It's a new direction for me, but it's more like dark R&B sexy song. Let's go. Excited to hear what you think. I got the drive file here. There's 2 attachments on here. Let me know which one you want me, unless it's a different one here. Let me just double check. I want to make sure I get the right one. I miss. Let me see. Acro, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Mask off. Okay, well, that's a different one. That's the one on the email. Let me see. I got to make sure I get the right one here. Yeah, that's on the new email. It put 2 attachments. Mask off final. Is the final? Yeah, I got you. No worries at all. Beautiful. All right, let's get it downloaded. And then go ahead. I think it's my first, if I'm not mistaken, is my first time hearing your music. Correct me if I'm wrong. 'Cause I mean, I get confused with a lot of names. Both are the same thing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, it's downloaded, it's ready to go. Beetle, I'm so glad. Once lost, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Give me all of the details. Give me all of the details. Let me see if the first email had any here real quick. I don't think so. Not really. Okay, yeah, give me details. So talk to me about production, talk to me about mix, talk to me about the role that you play in your music. Talk to me about the structure of what you're doing. Are you self-producing, downloading beats, working with a producer, going to a studio? Give me all the details. I've been playing games for 25 years, producing and making music for about that long as well. Bass. Okay, I was like, hey, people play games too. Playing bass for 25 years. Hell yeah, that's amazing. Producing and making music for about that long as well. Okay, awesome. Yeah, drop some details in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and start playing the song. Quick reminder, if y'all want to submit for these 20 to 30 minute long form consultations, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board ready to go. Still looking for TC, initials TC. If your initials are TC and you send 10 through the website, let me know. That way I can make sure I get everybody in the right order in the right space. So I'm aggressively releasing new music and making a lot of different types of vibes. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's get this running. I'll keep reading through the chat as we go. Beautiful. Like it.
I see your mask on. Take it off of me. I wanna know the real you. Come and see the real me. I can be your Superman. Let's fly together. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Could take off your pants. May I have this dance?
What are you producing on?
I wanna feel you. You feel me. I wanna be a
Facts time, link in bio. There you go.
Take it off of me. I wanna know the real you. Come and see
Cool.
the real me. I can be your Superman. Let's fly together. I just wanna feel your thighs. I just wanna get inside you. How can I want a sweet surprise. Can I taste you? Oh, I wanna make you feel you. I see your face on. Take it off of me. I wanna know the real you. Come and see the real me. I can be your Superman. Let's fly together. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Girl, looking at you. My breath stopping here, licks in.
Cool.
Do you wanna be on top? You can ride this thing till we pop. You're way down there, yeah. We're really need a pop. Oh God, you love it. I love it. Don't stop. Coming closer, oh, closer, closer. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Take it off of me. Take it off of me. Come and see the real me. I can be your Superman. Take it off of me.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. The one's lost right here in the chat. Okay, so you did everything. If I'm reading that correctly, you produced it, you mixed it, you were vocalizing, you're doing everything. You did everything yourself. That's amazing, man. That's not an easy thing to do. So shouts to you. Shouts to you, man. That's a whole challenge, man. You got to have like a specific part of your brain working for every different one of those processes. So props to you, man, for taking all of that on yourself. Let's run it from the top. So Ami Noai, and yeah, just made it. Beautiful. Let's get into it, man. I want to dive into some of the details of it. There's some structural things that I do really like that I think are working in your favor. And then a couple other things that definitely, to me, need some polish and need some structure so that those things line up. So the things that do have great structure line up with other elements that also have great structure. There's some elements of the beat that are really consistent. We got this low, it's just a B flat minor for most of this. To like kind of like rock to the F right there. Very like it's simple, but it's punchy. I don't mind it. I like some of the sampling in the background. Percussion is pretty clean. I don't mind that. And then some of the other walks that you have in there, I think, are pretty clean as well. XOK, welcome in as well. It's got Ableton. School of YouTube is going to be one of the best things, man. School of YouTube, especially if you're Ableton, is a complex is a complex DAW in some senses. For some people, I mean, I'll say this about any DAW. It can be really complex to start any DAW when you're just getting into it. I mean, that's the cheesy answer, right? It's like, I'm just watching YouTube videos, and I don't mean, don't, here's what I would recommend, just insane, is don't watch, how do I phrase this? Don't watch just like people that you like on YouTube when you're learning. Cause I feel like oftentimes when you like watch the people that you like that do all the cool stuff, you end up like learning all the wrong things. What you need to do is like see if like Ableton has a channel and do like an Ableton 101 ground zero. Where are the EQs? How do you organize plugins? How do you actually do sample manipulation? Like, and get into this stuff. Because oftentimes what people are doing is like, ooh, now I know how to parallel compress. And now I know how to like bring in all of this crazy stuff into Ableton and chop it and go crazy. And then they're like, but I don't even know what compression does. Or they're just like way behind the ball. You know what I mean? So my recommendation, I just know so many people that like they follow like a bunch of like plugin people on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. And then all of their stuff is just like how to work the next like new plugin they're sponsored by, as opposed to like actually getting the fundamentals of the DAW down, which seems like based on your question, that's what you need. And so what I would do is like hyper focus on the basics, hyper focus on like just understanding the mix interface, the sample interface, the insert interface for Ableton, and how to manipulate those things and structure those things to where any style of music that you dive into, specifically the ones that you're into, any style that you dive into, you'll have the tools for it. And then it's just like, what sound do I choose? How do I manipulate this piano? How do I add some swing here? How do I chop this sample to fit the genre that I'm working in? But none of that matters if you don't know how to position them and how to like understand the basics. Anyways, anytime someone asks about DAW, I'm just like, go back to basics. Get the basics incredibly down. I spent 15 years working in Pro Tools before I started doing a lot of like crazy stuff. It's not even crazy, just a little bit more like intricate routing and things like that. Like, just get the basics now. If you do that, then any style of music that you drop in there, you'll just understand where to put it. You'll understand, the MIDI programming to get the like percussion structure that you want for the style of music that you're working in, and what's typical of that genre and style and stuff like that. Learn the structure. Yeah, 100%. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. One of the biggest things for me, dude, of course. Hopefully that's somewhat loosely helpful. I know it's kind of like, dumb answer, like, hey, just watch videos. Yeah, of course. How you watch those videos, I think is important. One sloth, let's get into it. Okay, so most of the production structure, a bit repetitive. I think there's some ways that we can switch it up, and I can give you some tips on how. There's, of course, some things we can worry about in the mix. I'm not too concerned about the mix necessarily right now. It needs some work. But I don't, kind of like we were just talking about with Insane, is I don't want to get there yet, because there's structural things that I think need more polish before you worry about how bright your vocal is, and stuff like that. So I want to focus more on the early stuff. That way your early production structure, your vocal production is all really clean. And then you can delve into the world of like, I need to position these vocals better. I need to balance this better. I need to restructure some things here. And compressing and stuff like that. I mean, it makes it in like 2 hours or so. I could invest some more, 100%. And I would. One of the things, who said it? Who said, well, I can never think, I think it was Pharrell. I can't remember if it was Pharrell or if it was someone else. I can't think. My brain is honestly just not on fire today. It's not doing the most. But someone out there in the world, I think it was like Pharrell or someone similar, someone in the vein, someone who's a very prolific creative, who talks about creating loosely and freely and authentically. So when you are creating, when you're adding to your production, when you're coming up with songwriting ideas, you don't limit yourself. You let the ideas flow. You don't judge yourself too early. You create authentically. You create freely. And then edit surgically. And so this is where I want you to get into. We're still in some of the creating part, but getting into the kind of the editing surgically part of it, of like, okay, now I've got my idea out here. Now I need to kind of mold this into something that maybe is a little bit more palatable, into something that is going to be easier for people to kind of digest. So that's where I want to kind of get into a little bit of those nuances here, but I don't want to touch, too much of the mix yet. I just think that's a little bit farther down the road than some of the things we'll talk about today. Love it. All right, let's get into it. Like that's your guitar in the background right there, right? The like a modulation, like chop, just like I think it's like some of it's like stretched out a little bit right there. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. I'm a big fan of I self sample all the time now. I have Splice. I mainly use Splice now, to be honest, for like one shot stuff. Like if I need to build a drum kit, especially for like synthwave stuff. Like if I need like build a really particular kit or something like that for like 80s or synthwave, then that's where I typically go to Splice for. But I love self sampling. Not that you can't bring in samples, do it. The Grammy winning people are doing. Who cares? I don't care how you build your music. But I really enjoy as a musician, as someone who likes to play music, likes to use keyboards and guitars and drums and stuff like that. I've found a lot of fulfillment in creating my own samples and like playing the guitar line and then reversing it and chopping it and putting this an octave up and then throwing some weird filter on like some vocal line that I recorded myself or wrote myself. Like that to me is really fun and is really just fulfilling as a musician and as a producer. Sigsy's in a bit. What's up, Sigsy? Welcome in. We are doing consultations for artists, producers, musicians, engineers, songwriters, vocalists, so on and so on. We spend about 20 to 30 minutes going through the songs, breaking down the structure, getting into the details of it. Over that 20 to 30 minutes, we listen to the song multiple times. We're about to get into our second listen of the song, usually 2 or 3 times, chopping through the song to really dive into the details and the nuances of it and offer some hopefully valuable, actionable feedback on the structure of their music. So there's a lot of people that, of course, on all of the different, we're live on 3 different platforms. So on all the different platforms that we're on, there's a lot of people that do like really quick reviews. So the way that we structure it is about 30 minutes long, where we spend a lot of time digging into the song and get into the details of it. If you want to submit, type !submit right there in the chat over on Twitch. You'll see the link pop up for you right there. Sort of light today, so I'm only taking like 1 or 2 more songs, but the line is fairly free right now. Fairly free line now, but you can go through the whole process. Oh yeah, there we go. That's bumped up right there. Let me get these clear here as well. Okay, let's get back into the song. Let's dive into Contaminate. Thank you for the follow. Is it Kaizi? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. If you would like to submit over on TikTok, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the steps up there. Okay. Let's run it from the top. But yeah, I like those early uses of your own sampling for your guitar. For one, it means there's nothing else that sounds like that, right? That's going to be something that is really, really specific to your song, which I think is great. Sigsy, these are not for popular artists. It's for your music. So if you make music, if you're a producer, artist, musician, so on and so on, then that's what these are. That's what these are all about. And if you want to submit, then all of it goes through the link that I told you about. No, you're totally good. No worries at all. Time stretch the guitar and use some kind of gate to make it sound weird. Like, yeah, I like it. It almost has this like really old, like kind of, variable effect, like tape, like magnetic tape variation and stuff like that. That's really nice as well. And it sounds like there's probably effect over like some RC20 or something like that. That's giving you a little bit more of that modulation. But I do like the effect on there.
I see your mask on, take it off of me. I wanna know the real you. Come and
What's up, Shovel Off? Welcome in. Having a good day. It's been a long day. It's been a very long day. I'm tired, but it's been a good day. Has been a good day. Okay, let's talk about some of the structural things here.
the real me. I can be your Superman. Let's fly together. Oh yeah. Could take off your bed.
I would. Let me hear the hook again. I want to actually hear your lyrics again. I want to really focus on structural things. Thank you for the heart, me. I appreciate that so much. I want to get into the structural things here because there's parts of this to me that need to be molded a little bit, need to be a little bit more fine-tuned. Even on the lyric side too, there's some filler in there that I would love to create like a little bit more structure. Feels a little bit more pointed, a little bit more energetic. So.
Take it off of me.
All right, let's start it here.
I see your mask on, take it off of me. I wanna know the real you. Come and see the real me. I can be your Superman. Let's fly together. Oh yeah.
I would love a little bit more pointedness with the structure of this hook right here. It's when you have this like I see this. I see this, you see me, I see your mask off, take it off. And the back and forth right here, the like energy and the actual emotion behind like that conversation to me is missing a little bit. It's missing a little bit of edge, partially potentially in the performance itself, but also just in the way that things are phrased. It's pretty interesting to me how much is this just I love I love songwriting is one of my favorite things in the world. So I love digging into lyrics and stuff like that. I absolutely love songwriting. So when it's really interesting how the same point phrased different with a different punch on a different syllable and a different structure can feel completely different in a song structure here. So in this phrase right here, so you have this like scene that you are portraying, right? You have like you've kind of put us in like, especially in your early lyrics here. Let me back it up here. I see your mask off, right? So like we get this really early, like we're in a situation, like you're painting a little bit of a picture, but then it ends with just like, oh yeah, oh, I'm gonna do my puzzle. Hold on. I gotta do our puzzles on TikTok to let them know we're here. We're right here. And so you lose a little bit to me, especially in a structure that's really punchy. I mean, this is dark, dark B flat major, I'm sorry, B flat minor right here, low movements to the F minor. This is like a heavy, dark beat, right? You have low 808s, filtered drums that's saturated. This all feels really like dark and really heavy. And then you have kind of like these toss lines, like the oh yeah at the end that they don't really offer the punchline that my brain is really wanting. Like you're painting a scene of these masks on and off. I want you to know the real me. I want to know the real you. Like this whole scenario that you're painting, and then it just kind of floats away with these last lines right here. I would love for you to get back into the structure of this hook, which is why I said I don't want to touch mix, because I think there's some things in here we need to, like you said, you did it in like 2 hours, dude. That's quick. I would love for you to get back into this hook, the hook being so wildly important to the song and how people are going to gravitate to the song and grab onto it. I would love for you to wrestle with this hook a little bit more and see if there's some ways that we can phrase what you're trying to get across in a way that has a little bit more bite to it, and makes a little bit more sense and doesn't require any filler lines at the end. No, oh yeah, it's like it has like a punchline at the end that really, really drives home. Instead of the oh yeah part replaced with some words, or either, yeah, right, exactly. Like having some words at the end instead of oh yeah, because we're just missing. This is a really, again, I'm trying to kind of, what's up, Bassman? Welcome in. I'm trying to line up all of these different elements, right? Heavy, dark, production structure. The percussion is heavy and saturated. All of this, like this early mood right here, stretched out, distorted guitar. You have all of this stuff happening, and then some toss away lyrics that don't match that same heaviness or that same emotional structure. And I would love for that to feel a little bit more in line. Would love for it to. That's going to, to me, make this feel way more connected. I'm going to feel it a lot more on this end, just as not even as an engineer or producer, but like as a consumer of the music. I want to feel it a little bit more. And a lot of that, I think, comes with like how you put your vocal and lyric structure to the production and how they mesh. Okay.
I see your mask on, take it off of me. I wanna know the real you. Come and see the real me. I can be your Superman.
So like, I can be your Superman. That's, to me, again, just talking about songwriting structure. Please keep in mind, I try to preface this every time we talk about songwriting. This is not my song. This is not my story to tell. This is not my message. This is your song. This is your song. This is your creativity. So I'm going to toss some stuff out there. Feel free to ignore quite literally all of it, right? I'm not here to tell you how to write your story, write your song, write your perspectives. I'm going to toss some stuff out there just based on what I hear, what I feel when listening to these records. But I don't want you to take this as like that you need to mold this to what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling. Is it Bob? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you so much. Welcome in. So anyways, I want to preface that because I'm going to talk about some lyric structure here. If you like what you're doing, stick with it, run with it, be confident in it, and push forward from there. And when people give you push, look, this is what I want. This is what I want to happen here. It happens all the time with artists that I'm working with. Like I'm mixing for a couple artists right now, a couple in particular, where on both of them, they're requesting things in the mix that I think sound worse, and I address it, and I let them know. I was like, hey, I actually think that this is going to make this muddy. And they're like, maybe, I just want it there. And so we put it there, right? So this all is a little bit of a push and pull that I want you to stick with your guns if you're really enjoying something. Okay, but let's dive into it. So I'm going to back this up here for a second.
Take it off of me.
Like we're talking about kind of like revealing yourself, like taking the mask off. You're gonna finally see the real me. I'm kind of like opening myself up to you. I want to make sure that I'm seeing the real. Like these are all very like personal tensions that you have back and forth with the other person in the scene, and this portrayal that you have here in the song, and then this kind of I can be your Superman. That's a bit of like a left. That's a different ego that's happening right there, that from a songwriting standpoint I like immediately get disconnected and I feel like I'm listening to a different story, right? And so what I would love to hear is some cohesion. And this doesn't have to be perfect in every song, right? There's not a lot of rules to this, but I think as far as people connecting to the message and connecting to what you're saying as an artist, I think the more that you kind of stay in line, where like the song is called Mask Off, the first parts of your hook are talking about like you want to see the real me, I want to see the real you, I want to make sure that we're actually getting the reality of what we're peering into. We're taking the mask off, so we can really get into this, right? The I can be your Superman to me is a left. That's a more like ego driven line. Perfectly fine in a different context, right? This just depends on the song. But like I can be your Superman. Oh yeah. That's like a different thing. That's a different hook of a different punchline of a different part of a song. And so to me, I would lean into the story that you're telling. Like what's the story that you're telling? What's the purpose of it? What are you trying to get out of this? And lean into this more revealing part of the song, where it's like, what do you if the whole kind of like North Star of this song. And dude, to be honest, sometimes you don't even know until a situation like this, or you don't even know until you like go back to a song. You're like, well, what am I even trying to say? Been there a billion times, right? So as far as like, you might not even be like, I don't even know if I knew exactly what this was all about, but I laid a bunch of lyrics out in 2 hours, and now I'm trying to kind of edit it a little bit more surgically, like we talked about earlier. But in this context, if the song is Mask Off, for the first, like you're encountering a relationship and you're saying, I want you to know the real me and all my flaws and all my, darkness, maybe. I mean, it's a dark, moody beat, so I'm leaning into that. Nicole, welcome in. It's a dark, moody beat. It feels pretty heavy, low 808 saturation. It's filtered down. Like, I like that feel a lot. And so I'm assuming a more dark feeling to the song. So it's like, even in all my darkness, I want you to see the real me and I want to see the real you. If that's how we're leaning into the songwriting portions of the song, then make sure that the lyrics match that and stay in that lane a little bit, right? Like make sure that as you tell the story, you kind of expound out of, you're taking your mask off, I'm taking my mask off, so we can each see the real each other. You know what I mean? Like we can see the real us. If that's like the crux of the whole song and that's the foundation of the whole song, everything else that you say, you want to kind of point back to that or give context to that. Like when you go into another verse, when you do the end of the hook, like the last B section of the hook here instead of the Yaz maybe, right? Or the Superman line, when you go back to those, you want it to be in line with that story, to amplify that story or to give context to it. Right. And that's what I would lean into a little bit, because right now I do feel like I'm missing a little bit of that storytelling. I'm missing a little bit of that cohesiveness. It kind of works too, though, because I've had to carry many burdens of violation. Yeah, 100, dude, 100%, 100%, 100%. And hopefully I'm not missing any messages in here as well. But I still have to be the superhero. Okay, so lead people there, because right now it's just the punchlines missing some context. So if you say, like, I want you to take your mask off, I'll take my mask off, I want to know the real you. And then if the next line still has a darker feel of like, I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders, I'm your Superman, or like I don't know how you get there. How you get there as a songwriter is up to you, and an artist is up to you. Lead into it to where it's not just like, I want to know the real you, I'm Superman. That feels a little bit of left field. I'm curious if you can lead into that in a way that gives some context to why you feel like you're the Superman. We haven't even gotten there yet, and it's a first hook of the song, right? So since there's no context yet, the Superman line just comes across as cheesy, just because there's no edge built up through your verses yet, or in the hook yet, to make that. It just kind of feels out of left field. Yeah. Right. Like you can find a way to add tension that next line about being a superhero or whatever it is, feels like it's a bit of a release from. I said it turned out to actual playback is not such a lyric. Dude, Nicole, it's my favorite thing in the world. Favorite thing in the world. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling.
I can be your Superman. Let's fly together. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then definitely give us an actual punch right there at the end instead of the oh yes. And you can tighten up all of that vocal structure to line up, be a little bit more in tune and feel a little bit more cohesive there. If anyone wants to submit, Mac, I see it. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. If anybody would like to submit, you can go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details. We'll get you up in line ready to go. Otherwise, you don't submit actually through the chat right here. You should just go through a process at my profile. Okay, let's keep it rolling.
Could take off your pants. May I have this dance? I wanna feel you. You feel me. I wanna be a walking donut. Oh.
Yeah, so again, talking about fillers. I wanna be an Oaken donut. Oh, there's a bunch of like filler lines. So there's a lot of space, and then some of the space that is filled with filler, as opposed to like good, like constructed context for the hook. Remember, like point everything to the hook. Like, the hook is what people are going to grab onto. That's the most repeated element of the song. That's what people are going to remember, hopefully. Is the hook not so I don't really get any, to be honest with you, I don't really get any of that on the hook. It doesn't really have, it has this more like, it feels more vulnerable and yeah, it feels more vulnerable. And some of it could be the way you're singing a little bit too. There's a lot of nuance to that, but more vulnerable than it feels sexy, right? And a lot of that, I do think that like, yeah, a lot of that has to do with how you build those lyrics, right? There's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. Hey, sounds good, Eric. I got you, man. I got you. I appreciate you. So like, I mean, I would have to really dig into this hook to kind of figure that out. Yeah, there's a lot in there. Yeah, let me get a little deeper in the verse here, because I'm not really getting the sexy part of it. It feels fairly vulnerable. I'm hearing some lines in here, but I think because we haven't painted enough of a picture here, because there's so many gaps in the lyric, the filler, and then the consistency of the image that you're painting on your hook. So if you want to lean more that direction and then not just be, gritty or not just be vulnerable, but actually have a more central edge to it, then I would definitely lean into that in the way that you phrase things in your hook. Because there's nothing about like the Superman line, the oh yeahs, of course, that's half your hook, right? Half your hook is a Superman and oh yeah. None of that has any tension to it, right? There's no tension building there. So you really only have two lines of like the mask coming off and I want to see the real you, but there's no other real tension being built right there. So if you want it to feel like it has that edge to it, I highly encourage you to focus on building tension in these early moments of the song. Your verses, obviously, but there should be some release from that on your hook. But in your verses, focus on setting a scene and trying to elicit that emotion from the audience. Because right now it's a bit on the nose. There's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of filler. So I want you to focus mainly on that. I know we're talking mainly on song structure, but to me, it's the most important part of this whole thing. You could have a shitty mix and a phenomenal, well-written song, and the song can still take off. You could have a phenomenal mix by a Grammy-winning engineer on a really poorly written song and a like bad structure, and it'll go nowhere, right? So to me, that's why I'm not too worried about the mix. The mix will come. The mix will happen. I'm not worried about it. But from a structure standpoint, to me, it's more. It matters more than anything. Okay, let me get a little deeper into the song here. What's up, y'all? Welcome in.
I just wanna feel your thighs. I just wanna get inside you. How can I
See, so like even here, right? And I think I get what you're trying to do, but it's very on the nose. It's on the nose. I want a little bit, and maybe it's like maybe I'm wanting too much poetry, but like I want it to feel like there's like a little bit more of scene setting, a little bit more story building and world building here than it's just like we're right on the nose, right? Because then we're switching. I think for me, this is where it becomes a little jarring. And I listen to quite literally every style of music, and I don't care about like what's in the music as far as like content wise, like what you're talking about. Um, that's not the thing that's like off-putting. I think it's jarring how simplistic and kind of clean the hook feels. Like I said, there's not the tension in the hook. The hook is so like, I'll be your Superman. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? That's very loose right here. Straight into like touching thighs and getting and much more explicit, you know, verbiage, right? Going into the next verse. Those feel like two different worlds. So we need to find a way to, and again, not necessarily anything wrong with that, but that is going to end up feeling more jarring, right? Where we're like, you're like, take your mask off. I want to see the real you. Like this is the word. I want to see the real you. You'll see the real me. I'm taking off the mask so we can be exactly who we want to be in front of each other. I'll be your Superman. You can be my Wonder Woman. We can whatever. Like that. You're painting this world straight into like much more explicit lyrics of the verses right here. So that to me is where like, let's blend this a little bit better. Create without being maybe too explicit in the hook. So there's, again, this is the thing that people are gonna really dig into and really lean into. Darrell, leave. Darrell's got to leave. Darrell, get out of here. Darrell just hopped in out of nowhere. He's like, "What are you talking about? Touching thighs?" It's crazy to walk in right now as we're talking about this. But that second, that's the first part right there, and then we're going straight into like really, really deep. You know, we're going into a completely different. Darrell's like, hold on, what stream did I just pop into? Anyway, you get the idea, right? If we don't, Touching Thighs new band, that actually vibes. That is probably a great. I could see it. I could see the t-shirts. We need more world building to where this hook and this verse feels like they're the same song. They're telling the same story, and that hook is just the punchline of it all, right? But the tension feels similar, and it's not like this is like. If you were to take like the lyrics that you have right now, that could be like a open pop song. You know what I mean? Like that could be like pretty clean. And then you have a bit of a more interesting structure to your verses. No, submissions are open. I only have time for like 2 more songs, so they will be closed up here in just a second. Let me get a couple things updated. Eric, do me a favor really quick, Eric. I think you just got that figured out. Do me a favor, make sure that you double check when you go to my profile and you click on the link. Make sure that you do read through the details from top to bottom. I think I have a half submission from you. I want to make sure that I get you in line with everyone else. So just do me a quick favor, make sure that you read through that top to bottom, and I'll make sure I get you up in line. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the details there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. Okay, let's get a little deeper into the song here towards the end here. I know I've talked a lot about this lyric structure, but to me, the beat doesn't matter, the mix doesn't matter if this structure feels off-putting to people or it's like jarring to people. I imagine, right? I'm just going to paint a scenario. Imagine someone finds a clip of you posting the hook of the song, right? They find a clip of you posting the song and they're expecting a certain vibe, a certain structure, right? They hear a clip of the song and it's just the hook and you're just like, I'll be a Superman. Oh, no. Like, oh yeah, that's the end, right? It clips right there and like, oh, this is a cool song. I like the beat. It's a cool vibe. And they go to listen to it and it's like nowhere near the world that they want to be in based on the tension that you're building in the hook. It doesn't even feel connected to the verse. More people are just going to be off put by the songwriting structure of that to where, because there's nothing that really connects the two. And so if you can, but if in the hook, you have a little bit of that tension, right? It's a funny scenario, but it's a very realistic scenario. It's probably the most realistic scenario. Most people are probably going to find your music because you post about it, because you send it into a live stream, whatever, right? So if that's the most likely scenario, that someone's going to hear a little clip of this and then be like, hold on, this was not what I signed up for. This is a very different world that I thought I was diving into, right? That's a very likely scenario. So if you want more of that tension, make sure that it is a part of your songwriting structure in the hook. So last thing I'll say there. Okay, let's get towards the end here, and I'll update a few things here. Yep.
Girl, looking at you, my breast stopping here licks in. Do you wanna be on top? You can ride this thing till we pop. Get wet down there, yeah. We're feeling need a pop. Oh God, you love it. I love it.
But again, there's a lot underneath this that I like. Percussion structure, simple, easy, nothing wrong with it. It's dark R&B, you got a good feel for that. 808 slides are nice, simple progression movement. Not mad at it. We can play with the dynamics a little bit with the guitar. Like maybe for a moment, we drop all of your samples down an octave, take out the guitar for the verse, and then the B section, bring it back, get a little bit more dynamic range so it doesn't feel like 3.5 minutes of like the same sound, just kind of same mood, same feel. If you can create a little bit more dynamic range on the production side, I do think that would help. It'll make you going to the hook on the vocal side more distinct because the production changes as well as the vocal. A couple little things you can kind of build out there, but I would focus all of your attention on the songwriting, all of your attention on the lyric structure, because that to me is like you could mix this beautifully and it still would have that disconnect. So really focus on exactly on the world building and just connective tissue between these different parts of the song, so it feels like you're hearing the same thing.
Don't stop, come closer, oh, closer, closer.
Same thing here. Later ad libs in here, more filler at the end. I need like as someone who wants to be a fan of the song, right? And again, we're just talking songwriting. If I want to be a fan of the song, if I'm going to be singing the song, right? If I'm going to be like, wanting to be a part of this world with you, right? You're relating this experience to me so that I can feel it in my own experience, right? If that's the case, then I need full lyric structure. I need a full punchline at the end. I need like creative lyrics that like at the end here, you say a little twist or you say a punchline that like actually grabs me. It actually makes me feel kind of these last little moments here, as opposed to like a ad lib for 8 seconds and then some filler at the end of it and then another ad lib. Yep, 100%. Yeah, it needs words, but I also just want like structure. And then those ad libs, the stuff in the background, just pull that 7 dB back, put a bunch of chorus and reverb on it, put it in the background of the mix. Don't make it the main thing. I want to hear like a lead once lost melody, like a distinct, like who is once lost and what do they do and what are they saying? Right now, there's so much kind of vying for my attention between what you're saying, then an ad lib, then and kind of back and forth. I still want like the song. I feel like I still want to know like what the actual message is and the actual structure is, right? That's so pull some of the ad lib stuff back, get some of the other stuff, kind of into the background a little bit, and make sure that like your lead lyric structure and lead melodies are clean, distinct, sharp, and punchy, so that me as a listener of the song, a consumer of the music, knows exactly what I should sing with you. So I always tell people to kind of test on their own music. It's like, what is the audience going to sing with you? The melody's constantly changing, if the lyrics are disconnected, if the rhythms are a little bit different every time that you sing something, if it's difficult to latch on to the song, it's going to be very challenging for people to relate to it and gravitate towards it and latch on to it or even remember it, right? If the melody's changing constantly and the verses feel disconnected, whatever it may be, they might like what they hear in a moment, but then they move on and there's none of that pattern recognition to lock in that song so that they're kind of humming it randomly later on and they don't even know why, right? Those are those little pockets that I really want to dig into and make sure that we get into the structure of this. Y'all show some love, man. Once lost. I know we dug into a lot. I hope that's helpful, man. I know we went a little crazy there for a minute, breaking down all that kind of extra stuff in there. But I do think for me, the reason why I'm hammering this home so much is because to me, nothing else matters. You know what I mean? Like no matter what the vibe, this is the thing that I think people need to understand too. No matter what the vibe or the genre of the song is, right? This doesn't matter if this is a classic rock record, like a UK drill track, or like an EDM song, or a pop or a country record. It doesn't matter. This could be so many different variations of this, right? So many variations of this, where the structure and the song itself matters more than anything. Every song that you've ever heard that you've liked it because of the song. You've liked, and then how that marries with the production to make you feel the song. That doesn't matter if it's like a love song. It doesn't matter if it's heartbreak. It doesn't matter if it's just to get you to shake your ass on the dance floor. Like it doesn't matter, right? But the goal of the song is to elicit those feelings and make all of those things line up, right? To where when you hear the lyrics, it puts this thing in your mind, and then when you feel the production underneath it, they line up and it elicits a particular reaction from the listener, right? And so that to me is what I want you to focus on, where you have a lot of great things going on in the production structure. It makes sense you're a producer first. You have a lot of things going for you on the production side, that dark moodiness that we're talking about. Now we just need to get all of the lyrics, all of the structure, all of then the layering and tracking to line up with your vision for it, so that what you're making us feel with the production matches what you're trying to elicit in the lyrics as well, so that the listeners know exactly, their brain kind of knows exactly what to feel when they're listening to the song. Show some love to Once Lost, man. That was a deep one. I know we got in the weeds there a little bit. Herm, thank you for the follow. Put a lot of energy into songwriting. Jose, sorry I missed you over on YouTube. I appreciate you so much. If y'all would like to submit, if you're on YouTube, you can go to the link in the description. If you're on the Purple app, you can type !submit in the chat. If you're on TikTok, you can go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details, and we'll get you up on the board, ready to go. Okay, give me just one moment here to just update just a couple things. Yeah, I think the beat does. I mean, you have this like slow halftime, dark bass, filtered, saturated, stretched out guitars. I like that. I don't mind that one bit. I think you're in the kind of Party Next Door, Black, Six Lack, variation of this like dark R&B hip hop feel that I think definitely has a lane and definitely has, Kirsten, thank you for the follow, definitely has some space for you to work in that realm, but got to make sure everything lines up. You got to make sure, but I think the production's there. As far as like some of those areas that we were talking about, it does feel dark. It feels moody. It's nice and slow. I think a slower BPM is nice. If you want it to feel a bit more sensual, then I think that's great. You just got to make sure that the song itself that's layered over that is eliciting the same emotion that you're trying to get out of the beat. That to me is the most important part. Y'all show some love to Once Lost. Show some love to Once Lost. All right, let's keep it rolling. I'm talking too much. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me update just a few. Dude, of course, anytime. I know we got deep into the songwriting. It's one of my favorite things to songwrite, so I know I can rant on it a little bit, or it's one of my favorite things to talk about. I love songwriting. It's one of my favorite things. So I can definitely rant on it quite a bit. Let me get a couple things updated here from the other, and then just Eric, let me know if you did go and check on the other platforms. TC, I got you. There's TC. I see you in the email now too. So let me get you up here. Boom. I got you. Tom, you're ready to go. I appreciate you so much. And then I'll double check for Eric here in just a minute. Vibes. Oh, beautiful. Vibes in Texas. Well, where, I'm assuming TX is Texas. Where in Texas are you? All right, let's double check a few things here. And then I'm going to be closing up the line here in just a little bit. Shout out to Dallas. My wife and I lived in Dallas for about 2.5 years. We were up there up until last year. I had a small studio up there, which is fun. Have a fantastic evening. I'm back in the studio. Peace out, man. Once Lost, appreciate you so much. Thanks for dropping by. Thank you for your patience as well. I appreciate it a lot. But yeah, Dallas is cool. We're back in San Antonio now, which is where most of our family is, just for the time being. But we did enjoy it. We did enjoy it while we were out there. You rock, man. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. All right, we got Tom in the building. The song is submitted on behalf of my daughter, Elaina Christina. She is a Nashville-based Americana country artist building towards her debut EP in August. H-Town in the building too. We got Texas represented in the chat today. We got a local chat today. Hey, sounds good, Lost. Appreciate you. Would love feedback and vibes on TikTok. Sorry, reading through the emails here really quick. Additional info, she is a 21-year-old singer-songwriter. Her producer is Landon Crosswell. He produces her other music as well. He is a former classmate. Beautiful. Song was written after a breakup, realizing they were too different. All right, let's get into it. Let me open up the Spotify here really quick, and let me just make sure. Oh wait, so that's vibes. Just making sure I connect the names here. So I'm opening up the right stuff here. But let's get it. Let me open it up on Spotify really quick. So this song is out on all platforms. So please go stream it. Go add it to your playlist. Go like the track. Go follow on Spotify. All of the stuff. Go show some love and support. Let me get this playing back on the computer here. Notepad is ready. A quick reminder as well that every single one of these live streams are safe to YouTube as well. So we have a playlist on there named Track Talk live stream. And over there, you can see every single, while I've kept track, even though we've been doing this for 3.5 years now, of every single episode. So if you want to, you can also just go back to that video as well and re-reference this pocket where the song is played, that we don't have to worry about. Like even taking notes, you can be more present if it's helpful. Obviously, take notes if you want to, but I'll always want to make sure that you'll have a backup over there as well if you go see it. I don't know what, I think it'll be like episode 90 today or something like that. All right, this is Swing and a Miss by Elaina Christina. This is from last year, it looks like, but let's get into it. Great voice.
Nothing was said out of love. Oh, that I was crucified in the name of us.
The producer, do you know if the producer mixed it as well or if it went to an engineer? Okay, nice. Cool. Good lyrics too, good songwriting.
I gave, you took something that I couldn't get back, discarded for good. My well run dry. It was right there, but I never realized that my darling, your love's a slow burning. I've got a short fuse, and I've learned that living without you ain't half as bad as it sounds. Darling, we ought to cut it off, call it all quits. 'Cause we were swinging good. Oh, this ain't my fault. You don't have to tell me. I just never thought that you'd get love that easy. My darling, your love's a slow burn. I've got a short fuse, and I've learned living with that.
James, thank you for the follow.
You ain't half as bad as it sounds. Darling, we ought to cut
Thank you for the follow, Roland. Appreciate it.
it all quits. Ain't no way to clean up the mess that we made out of this. 'Cause we were swinging and miss.
I love a little kind of B3 in the background there. That's beautiful. Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Show some love. There's, man, the bones of this are fantastic. Great songwriting, great vocal structure. She has an awesome voice. I'm excited to get into this. That is Swing and a Miss by Elaina Christina. It is out on all platforms. So if you like what you hear, go stream it, go add it to your playlist, go like the track, go follow, all that good stuff. Show it some love and support. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, really quick. I'm going to close up the line probably here, but I need, I don't know where Eric went. And then I just got one from, let me see. Sorry, I need to double check something here real quick and make sure this is all lined up. So I have like 3 different ones here. Okay, real quick. I have 3 different 5s that came in, all from different platforms and different people. So I just need to make sure that I put these with the right people. So let me know. Because I try not to say people's names because sometimes people don't like it, but I already have oh, Eric. So what I was saying, Eric, is when you go to my profile and you click on the link and you read through the details of the live and the structure and where to email and stuff like that, just do make sure that you read through all of those details from the top. I think you sent a half submission. So I want to make sure that I get you in line. I want to make sure I get you on the board with everyone else, so I can get everything in order. So just do me a favor when you go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through the details at the top. Same with I have a Kirsten and a Curdy as well. And both of those, same thing. Both of those were partial submissions. So I want to make sure that I want to make sure that I get y'all up on the board. So just let me know. That way I can either, if you need me to, I can save it for the next live, which will probably be tomorrow. I can save it for the next live, or if you want to make sure that you get it up there, I can make sure that I hold for that as well. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get back into the song. I just want to make sure, because I have like 3 different, randomly all at one time, 3 different partial submissions. I want to make sure that I get all of y'all online. Swing and a miss. Elaina, Christina, let's dive into it. Let's run this from the top. Let's get into it. Most of the song structure I really, really like. Most of the song structure I think sounds fantastic. I think, to me, one of the biggest pain points of this is actually going to be the mix, especially with a country record or a rock record or like a more organic record like this. The mix is going to be one of the biggest pain points of keeping everything clear and open and vibrant, good separation, good distinction, no harshness, anything like that. That, to me, is going to be one of the determining factors with how polished these records feel. I think the song itself is fantastic, like we were talking about with the last artist that we were listening to. The song matters more than anything. That to me is already a massive win, that the song is good, the vocal structure is good. So for me, a lot of this is going to come down to like production mix and stuff like that. So let's run it from the top, and I'll give, of course, specifics. But let's run it from the top. Okay, so right off the bat, like right up the early portion of the song, we have a really, I like the way that it sounds, a really good, clear, double track acoustic guitar. I think that sounds fantastic. It comes in really strong, especially in the genre that's typical, right? Strong, double tracked, hard pan guitar makes it feel really wide, makes it feel really vibrant. The biggest part of this song that, to me, is going to be the thing you're going to have to wrestle with the most is drums. That is drums. I played drums since I was 4 years old. I've mixed a lot of drums, like live drums and VST drums all the way across the board. They can be frustrating. They can be, sample selection can be frustrating. The drums themselves, if you're tracking real drums, can be incredibly frustrating between phase issues, bleeding, gating, tuning, dynamics. Like it can be a lot, when you're dealing with a lot of microphones, or even just on a VST, dealing with a lot of different things where you have to connect and make feel really glued together. In this particular instance, the drums are what I would refer to as kind of over choked. They're really brightened and then really compressed. So you get this really kind of fast attack on those like early transients. It makes it really sharp and snappy and punchy, but then that threshold is really low. This could even be happening on a drum bus as well, but the threshold's really low to the point where you're getting a lot of that reaction from the compression. And it makes the drum sound kind of thin and snappy and a little bit brittle to listen to, especially when you're hearing like the bell on the ride. You hear the snare when it kicks in. It makes them feel kind of like thinner and snappier, as opposed to what I would love to hear in the context of this production, even after hearing her voice, that would have like a little bit more weight to it, a little bit more body to it, not necessarily like thin and snappy, but full and dynamic with a bit more presence. So I would, as a starting point with these drums is potentially, if they're sampled, which I'm kind of... kind of think they might be real drums. They're very, very processed, so that's what I'm like. They might be real drums, and if they are, this comes down to like tuning, and then of course how you process in the DAW and stuff. Like, yeah, I was gonna say that I think they're real drums based on some of the bleed that you can kind of pick up on in the background, which it's gonna happen no matter what. There's no way to really get around that. But the fact that they're real drums, this is just gonna come down to like how you actually process in the DAW, and then of course how you're actually playing and tuning and stuff like that. But yeah, you can hear this really like suppression, this big suppression that's happening on the drums that doesn't allow them to really like breathe and feel full and feel like they have a lot of life to them. They can feel like, again, like I said, kind of choked and held back a little bit. So that's one thing that I would love to breathe a little bit more. Personal strictly personal preference, but I feel like especially with a lot of modern country, even more classic renditions of modern country, a deeper, thicker snare, I think, does well in this genre, as opposed to a little more like snappy rock. I would love like a 8.5. I have it's behind me somewhere. Actually, it's back by my other set, but like an 8.5 inch like deep snare, like a Ludwig Black Beauty or like a Pork Pie, like one of those, and give it a nice deep tuning, nice and full, tight snares. So you still get that snap, you get that energy. At the same time, you get a lot of fullness, a lot of depth to it. So the snare feels really like thick. It has a lot of weight to it. I think that would work really well with specifically with these acoustic guitars, because these acoustic guitars are huge, right? They're very loud, they're very forward, they're very wide. So you need some other elements in this mix that can compete with that. And what you're going to run into is the drums, again, will feel kind of small and thin compared to these huge guitars. The vocal, especially often in the lower register, will feel kind of back in the mix a little bit. It's hard to compete with kind of the breadth of the acoustics in here. So I would just make sure that all of the different elements of the production kind of line up. They make sense in the way that they're kind of built together. Most of the mix is fairly clean, but I do think that's going to be one of the things that makes this feel really polished or not, or still feels amateur in a lot of ways. And I think she definitely has the potential to have like a really polished record on her hands. 100%. She has the voice for it. That's not in question. She's obviously in the, doing a lot of the right stuff and going to Nashville too, especially in this vein, whether she's tracking all on her own or working with other collaborative songwriters and other producers. That's a good move in Nashville for sure. Okay, let's get a little deeper into it. Great voice, really great voice.
Short-tempered, nothing was said out of love. Oh, that I was crucified in the name of us.
It's like right now, I feel like perception-wise, all I'm hearing obviously I can hear other things, but like all I'm feeling in the mix are these acoustic guitars. And again, they're clean, they're tracked wide, they're recorded well, but that's all that I really feel. I would love for that maybe even like come down to like a little bit more of a palm mute or something. And again, this song's out, so I'm speaking to the future for like a future record, but like the boom, 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 boom. Boom. Right now they're full dun, 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 dun. Like they're full open strumming a lot of times. Makes it feel like there's a lot of energy going on at once, as opposed to restraining some of the production, like bringing it in really, really close to allow that lower register of her vocal to really shine. There's a lot of energy happening kind of in stereo there. So little things like that.
'Cause my darling,
Beautiful harmonies. Love that. Like it's great. That repetition in that melody structure is fantastic. Awesome. Like that's good writing, good melodic structure there. Love that. Yep, good lyric. Yeah, it's a great ending line. There's a great punchline there. We were swinging. Beautiful. Like a lot of that lyric structure I think is fantastic. Awesome.
I gave, you took.
There's a little more of that palm mute right there. I would love a little bit more of that in the first verse, so this doesn't feel more restrained in the early ones. Like I like that. I like that tension right there, especially when there's much less happening on the drum side.
I couldn't get back, discarded for good. It was right there, but I never realized.
Yeah, awesome voice. Okay, and one other thing here, and again, a lot of this has a lot less to do with even necessarily like a lot of the quality here, but this has to do with like early structural decisions for the song. One of the things that can be, strangely enough, like one of the most important decisions that a songwriter and a vocalist makes for their song is the key of the song. It makes all the difference in the world. So you have this B flat major. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's on double piano again. Sorry. This dun, 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 dun. And it walks down a little bit farther, but off of this B flat major here. So off of this progression right here, the thing that I notice is her register is so low and so comfortable in that low register that you don't really get, I feel like, a lot of energy out of the vocal performance just because it sits in such a like very relaxed, like low larynx, like really easy register for her vocal. And in the verses, obviously, we get to hear a little bit more of that low register, which is really nice. It's a cool flex, especially a little bit lower. You get a lot of that, you know, texture down that I think is awesome. But you also miss some some kind of striving and some energy and some reaching that can happen when you're just even like a couple semitones higher. In this case, going off of the B flat, I would love, even if this was up to like C major. So we could walk down. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, you could walk down from C. So even like two semitones, because the only time that you really get to flex the register is later on in the hook, and later on in the hook, you only get this like little snapshot of a higher register, and that's the only time you really feel a little bit more of like the tension of the song. And so I would love for that maybe to be, you know, 2 or 3 semitones higher. It'll make the verses feel more comfortable for most people to sing. It's not going to be too much of a low reach for any other female vocal to sing. It'll feel very like natural and comfortable for a male vocal to sing, just a couple semitones higher. And it'll make it feel like there's a little bit more reach and a little bit more energy and emotion in the hook because it's a couple semitones higher. So there's a little bit more projection out of the vocal. It's not reaching as low. The high note feels like it has a little bit more emotional and a little bit more energy behind it because we're pushing to a slightly higher register. Just a couple semitones makes a massive difference. So that's kind of a note to anybody who's writing their own music and working with producers. Play around with keys. I mean, there's sometimes I've worked with an artist where we'll write a song and we'll like produce out a song and we'll change the key 4 times. We'll go through a lot of different pockets until we're like, actually, I really like the way we're hitting the high note on the hook right here. So we need to make sure we're in a key where we can hit that and go an octave lower in the verse. And we'll manipulate the song to make sure both of those things can coexist. So that's where I think getting into the key of some of these songs will be really valuable because I feel like there's so much more that this vocal has to offer and has to give. Again, like I said a couple times, it's a fantastic voice, great song structure, great songwriting. But I do wish that we were getting a little bit more of that emotional payoff by having a bit more of that vocal range in there. Okay, let me get into this last section here. But the vast majority of this I think sounds awesome. But the biggest thing for me is just some pain points in the mix as far as the way the drums are mixed, some of the structural things in there, and then just some of the foundational, like how you choose a key for the song. To me, it can make a pretty massive difference. Yeah. So like here, like right here, this is a good opportunity. Like if this song was a couple semitones higher, that would offer those moments of belting right here, there'd be a lot more payoff on this hook, right? When you go from like a low hook here. Got you, Eric. I got you. Most of like the tone on the electric guitars, again, like there's a lot of this that I really love. I think so much is going right. So much is going right in the song. To me, a lot of it's gonna come down to some of those other structural things. And it might even be, I'm not saying this is everyone's, this can always be a touchy thing too, but I think a lot of times when you get past the like more creative side of the writing and production side of things, it can be really helpful to hand off the rest, like just to another engineer, to a studio, or someone who knows maybe a little bit more in depth on the mixing side. It's not a bad mix in any sense. It's not a terrible mix in any sense, but it does have an amateur sheen to it that I do think. Hey, Valentine, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I do think that there is a level of quality that a song structure like this deserves. That this is where, like, oftentimes, even like when I'm working with other producers, I'm like, you might want to hand this off to an engineer instead of trying to focus on it yourself or work in house. I think the songs are worth it. And so I think last recommendation I would say is, like, obviously if there's a willingness to like really, really build up like on the engineering side and polish this and track it in a way that feels really, really polished and professional, keep chipping away at it, keep pushing at it. That's 100% valid, and should be pursued. On the other side, he's a great producer, obviously a great musician. There's some great guitar riffs in here, great tracking structure for the acoustics. He's a good drummer. Like all that stuff is true, right? It can then be helpful to be like, finish that creative side and then take a step back and let a fresh ear take on some of the other mixing details to make sure that you're not too close to the record. Because sometimes when you're doing all of the stuff, you can just, I've been in this in that position many different times. You can just get too close, and it can be hard to like see the forest through the trees a little bit and kind of know what's in front of you after a long time when you tracked all of those instruments, balance everything at the same time, get the vocals in there, and then you're mixing all of that same structure. That's a lot. I mean, you can do it phenomenally, but I would say that it could be worthwhile to find someone just to mix on the outside of that. Not necessarily, like I said, there's times where I'm working with people and it's more worthwhile to be like, no, let's fight through it. Let's toil with it a little bit and just improve that structure over time. And in 3 months, it'll sound a lot better. But I do think that the strength of the song is in the songwriting. The strength of the song is in Elaina's vocals. And so that being the case, and in the production itself, the actual instrumentation itself, I think all of that is really strong. The weak link here is, I think, the polish of the mix, balancing some levels in there, compression, EQ, like kind of structural things like that. So that can be worked out 100%, even just with revisions of what's going on here. But I also think it can be helpful to be like, we did our part. We'll hand it off to a fresh set of ears, 100%. Y'all show some love. Vibes in Texas, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sending that in. Y'all show some love to Elaina Christina as well. I'm excited to hear more work of hers because the songwriting is fantastic. Structure is awesome. Very in line with what I think is happening, especially with a lot of like modern female country. Obviously, with like Ella Langley, like a lot of these artists that are popping off like crazy, that have a very like relaxed structure to their songs where it's not all crazy hyped. But I think those would also be good references to like listen to the drums, listen to like a lot of those songs are like, they're fat snares. They're really, really deep. They're really, really present and kind of dark and heavier sounding. And it allows a lot of space on top of that for especially a female vocal to really shine at the top of the mix. That's really deep and really heavy, as opposed to if the mix is very like bright and overhyped and maybe inflated a little bit and like the higher frequencies and overcompressed, then it kind of steps on the toes of a lead vocal a little bit. So that's where I would maybe reference a little bit and see like, man, maybe there's a different way we can shape this a little bit. Absolutely. Y'all show some love to Vibes in Texas one more time. Let's keep it rolling. I got to get out of here in a minute. So Eric, I got you. Eric, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for correcting that too. And that is, let me see. I think that's here. Rob, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. So that's Eric. Beautiful. Eric, I got you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for updating that. I got you ready to go. Let me just go into the email over here. There is Eric. Beautiful. Okay. Let's get into it. We're going to get into, I think this will be our last one here. Okay. And then we'll be live again tomorrow. So, like I mentioned every single time, if your song is saved, hottest producer, what's up? If your song is saved, I'll always make sure that I give you a boost the next time as well. I make sure that I give you a little bit of a leg up the next time that you submit. I don't know why the submissions were a little bit confusing today, but I'm trying to make sure I get everything in order here and everything lined up for us. Okay, let me close up over here for a second, and then we'll open up the line again tomorrow. We'll listen to hopefully a few more songs. I was on very late today. Hey, sounds good. How does that? Appreciate you tapping in. Good to see you. Hopefully we can get through a good chunk of other songs tomorrow. Okay. Let's see. Title of the song, Drowning Lesson. Let's go. I have lyrics that I submitted to Rhythmics. I made several versions of the song. Here's the 3 versions that I want to remix and add some instruments to. Like strings to the chorus part. I don't have any experience in creating songs, but I do have an intermediate knowledge in reading notes, playing guitar. Hey, no problem. No problem at all. Feel free to chill. No, I'm closing anyways. Excuse me. I'm now trying several apps to remix the song. Okay, so let me read through the lines here a little bit. I want to make sure I'm understanding kind of the structure of what's happening here real quick. Okay, so is Rhythmics a generator? Just so I'm familiar with the structure of it. Is Rhythmics like Suno? It's like a generator, something like that. So I can get the different versions, making sure that I get. Okay, yeah. So let me know. This is a question I always want to ask, especially in this kind of a scenario of what you want me to focus on as far as what's happening here and what I can help you with structurally, what you want me to look at and stuff like that. Let me see, because I have 3 different versions here. So let me know if there's something in particular you want me to dig into. That way, I have a little bit of direction, a little bit of context. I want to mix version 2 and version 1. Okay. I think, let me see. I think, oh wait, so hold on. That's Kirsten. Sorry. I think I see that on here. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. That's the 2. That's the 2 that I missed there. Got it. I need to get this on the board so I at least can get it saved. That way I have it on my list and I'll save it and boost it next time. Okay. I'm more interested in a mix of version 2 and version 1. Okay. Let me know. Okay. Unfortunately, I think some of the, if you want to put it in like a reply to the email, that might help. I think it's getting limited in the chat on TikTok or something like that. But I want to make sure that I get like a clear direction on what you want me to listen for. And what you're wanting me to help with. That way I just know how to kind of direct my ears on kind of what I'm listening for here. But I'm assuming you want me to listen to version 2 and version 1. So let me start there. And then if you want to drop it in an email, I can try to read through that a little bit more too. I just want to make sure that I direct on that. Version 2, let's focus. Okay, version 2. Let's do it. We'll figure it out. I'll give it a listen. Okay, so yeah, it is generated. I was trying to make sure because I didn't heard of Rhythmics.
The pressure reveals every crack in the silence. I try not to feel. They were stirring the waves, telling me to be still, while I'm fighting for breath in a place meant to heal. They knew I was tired, knew I couldn't swim. Watch me sink while they said, let the lesson begin. I kept begging, just stop, but they pushed me again, till the fear turned to panic, panic to win. And I screamed, but the sound got lost in the tide. Every hand that I reached would just pull back and light. Said you learn through the suffering, pain makes you grow, but the deeper I sink, the less they would know. I was drowning while you watched me break. Called it love, but it felt like hate. Left me there just to suffocate. Said it's all just a lesson I had to trying to convince me I was someone before. Every word that I said just dissolved in a doubt, while the shadows kept telling me I'd never get out. And I know I had flaws, I was numb, I was weak, trying to bury the hurt every night of the week. But the drugs never could have esteemed us the shame of watching the people I love look away. And I tried just as I tried to stay afloat with your words like a chain wrapped tight on my throat. Said you'll sink, you'll collapse, you'll never survive. But somehow through the wreckage, I'm still alive. I was drowning while you watched me break. All in love that it felt like hate.
So you do want to focus on like songwriting structure? Let me know what you want to focus on.
Shape of our hands, but I'm still here breathing, still here reaching. Don't let love pick up the water. I was drowning, but I didn't break. Every scar is a choice I made. You can't take what you fight to take. I survived every second you made me. Learned how to swim through the rain. I wait in the water, but drowning's not the end.
Let's go. Yo, show some up. Okay, I want to go back. Thank you for the follow, Pela. I appreciate that. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but thank you so much for tapping in. Please correct me as many times as necessary. Okay, here's. Okay, what's the. I sent the version that I want to remix. And you want to add instruments. Okay, so are you? We are closed for today, but I will be live again tomorrow. So make sure you have notifications turned on. We'll open up the line again tomorrow, and listen to a good chunk of songs. Today was a little bit shorter. I'm on a little bit later than I typically am, but definitely can send one in tomorrow. I'll open everything back up, but we're closed up for today. This is our final walkthrough right now. Okay, so I sent another version through the email. Okay, I'm only going to listen to one other because we're chopping through a couple different things here. So are you wanting to add real instruments? Is what you're saying? Just so I want to make sure that I'm clear so I can help out as much as I can. Are you wanting to like reproduce these? Like take this version that you have right here. I'm about to listen to. I think the version that you just sent me. Are you wanting to add real instrumentation to that? Is that what you're aiming to do? Go back over here. Oh, okay, beautiful. So you have these generated songs and you're wanting to get them fully produced with real instruments. Beautiful. That's all the context I need. Perfect. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. That gives me more of an idea of how we need to focus on like structuring these songs. Okay, but we'll close it up here and then we are beautiful. That makes perfect sense. We're closed up here. Just a quick reminder that if you're left up on the board, if you haven't been heard today, then you will always be saved and I'll always add to yours as well. So if you get left up and you have to wait for the next time that we're live, which will be tomorrow, then I'll always add 5 tiers. That way you can get a little bit of a boost next time as well, just in case you don't get heard today. In this case, this is our last song. Okay, so this is a different version. I'll go off of this.
I wade in the water where the pressure reveals every crack in the silence. I tried not to feel they were stirring the waves till fighting for breath in a place meant to heal. They knew I was tired, knew I couldn't swim. Watch me sink while they said the lesson began. I kept begging to stop, but they pushed me again till the
And we're closed for today, but we'll be live again tomorrow. We'll be live again tomorrow.
and I screamed, but the sound got lost in the tide. Every hand that I reached for just pulled.
Okay, so one thing that you're kind of hearing, excuse me, one of the things you're hearing in this generated project right here is a lot of inconsistencies in the chord progression. So you'll hear like the bass, because it doesn't know, right? So it's like the bass and the guitar start blending together, and what was the riff from the guitar moved the bass up a little bit, and then it kind of blended and came back down. So there's a lot of inconsistencies. What I would love to hear, and what I think would be beneficial, and as you are working with musicians and building the song structure, is a really clear progression. So this hook melody, Dark Lords, welcome in. So this, like that really consistent melody structure and a really consistent chord progression. In this case, F sharp major, D sharp minor, A sharp minor to G sharp major, right? So just even having, even especially with the lower piano, away from me, like that progression being so consistent and being so clean where you can really clearly hear what it is. Now add drums, a bass, and double tracked rhythm electric guitars, distorted, doing that same progression from that F sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and G sharp. Now everything playing that together, that feels really powerful. Where you're going to miss a lot of power, not even just because it's generated, but where you're going to miss a lot of power is inconsistencies in that progression. So if we can line it all up and it feels powerful, feels punchy, the bass is kind of matching a little bit of what's happening with the kick drum. The rhythm guitars are matching what the bass progression is doing. The lead guitars are having a lot of fun over the top of that. It's going to make everything shine so much more. So one of the things I would look for is really clean, really punchy progression and structure there. Okay, let me get a little deeper in here. Okay, nice. I'm excited to get there.
They would know I was drowning while you watched me break. Called it love, but it felt like hate. Left me there just to suffocate and said it's all just a lesson I had to say.
Same thing, really clean progression. In this case, we're going from the B flat minor, right? Dun, 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 dun. Like you want a really, really clean progression that's followed all the way through there. It's better on the hook here. The verses are a little muddy, better on the hook here, but you'll want, piano, bass, electric guitar, synths, like you want all of that following that progression right there.
Now the weight of it won't let go. Every breath feels like I still owe all the pain that you made me know. Yeah, you taught me to swim alone. Cold white walls and a lock on the door, trying to convince me I was someone before. Every word that I said just dissolved into doubt.
So you hear the woo, 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 woo. You can hear the bass kind of moving all over the place right there. That's one of those things where you'll want to get that really locked in as far as like what's the bass doing, what are the drums doing, and it being really clear. Because if a bassist was like following this, it would sound really muddy and messy, right? Just because of what happened to be spat out by rhythmics, right? Just because of what it spat out, the bass is kind of floating all over the place. It's not someone playing a note on a fretboard, so it doesn't have the consistency. So that's where I would just make sure that the boom, 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 boom. Like underneath here, right? Underneath this.
Swim alone. Cold white walls and a lock on the door, trying to convince me I was someone before. Every word that I said just dissolved into doubt, while the shadows kept telling me I'd never get out. And I know I had flaws, I was numb, I was weak.
Like it's like really like if the bass is doing that dum 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 boom 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 boom, and again it feels really connected to each of those little parts of the structure right there, it'll make a lot more sense. I think this part I tried Moises and add stem like bass and strings. Yeah, that's where you're getting. That might be one of the reasons why there's like a little disconnect with like what's the bass kind of competing together, and trying to figure that out potentially. Adding just like another track right there, it's like a little bit disconnected. That could be part of why. But that's something where so like that's easy. Like even here I've got a bunch of or a couple 2 or 3 bass guitars in here. Like that's like a pretty easy thing to just like find the progression, do 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 doom do do doom, and like build out the progression on a bass, make it feel heavy and distorted so it still has all the energy to it. So you don't feel like you're missing anything not having this production here.
Bury the hurt every night of the week, but the drugs never cut half as deep as the shame of watching the people I love look away. And I try just to fight, try to stay afloat with your words like a chain wrapped tight on my throat. Said you'll sink through, you'll collapse, you'll never survive, but somehow through.
I do like the idea of having a rap vocal in there though, like having a different pocket for the second verse, going straight into another hook here. One of the things I'm feeling though is as far as like, and this might just be because of how many lyrics you wrote and how long it takes the generator to fulfill those lyrics to get to the next part of the song, but it is a little bit run on as far as like every verse has like a really long pre-chorus and then a fairly long chorus and then another verse. And then the pre-chorus again is really, really long. What I would probably do from a more yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, right? So like what I would probably do is make like you can have a slightly longer first pre, but your second one should probably be a lot more concise if you have one at all. What I would maybe do is just go straight from the rap to like a punchline right there, boom, and you're straight into the hook, right?
Half as deep as the
Like-
shame of watching the people I love look away. And I try just to fight, try to stay afloat.
Yeah.
With your wreckage, I'm still alive. I was drowning
See here?
while you watched me break.
So like now we're into like another big section right here after that breakdown. So the song can just kind of feel like it just kind of runs on. Joseph, welcome in, dude. So good to see you, dude. Sorry we're not able to connect this last week, man. I've been all over the place, all over the place, as usual. Let me know. Shoot me a message right now, Joseph. Let me know what Thursday looks like. Wednesday is our anniversary, so I'll be out all Wednesday, most of the day. I'll be working in the morning, but thank you, dude. Thank you for the gifts, man. I appreciate it so much. I'll be out most of Wednesday for that reason, like the whole afternoon and evening. I'll be out. Let me know Thursday or Friday. I should be able to move whatever I need to around to hop on a call and make sure that we're locked in. Little harder earlier in the week, but streaming too. I haven't seen a week and I was like, yeah, I know. It's like and I think what happened the other day too is I shot that message later in the morning of when, and then I had to dive into work while I was waiting, and then I was too deep in the work, and then I couldn't get out. It's the way that it's been lately. It's kind of been crazy. So I'm glad somewhat that you've been a little bit busier too, because I feel terrible. And I hold out Thursday and Friday, but if it's after 7, okay. I think no, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I do think I can make that work. If I work a little bit earlier and stream a little bit earlier, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get it. Yeah, I have no question. We'll get it. We'll make it happen. That should work. And because I mean, it doesn't have to be super long, but even just to reconnect, refocus, and make sure we got all the projects lined up. Okay, sorry.
Fall in love, but it felt like hate.
Yeah. So here's what I would do. Hey Eric, thank you for the fist bump. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you for the heart me as well, Joseph. I appreciate the gift so much, man. Thank you for the bubble gums. You're amazing, man. We love you. Seriously, appreciate you so much. Okay, so from a structural standpoint, what I would probably do is have a strong verse. Have maybe a full pre-chorus, right? Strong verse, pre-chorus, full hook, right? Then you do a rap verse. What I would do is probably no pre, because you filled that void with a different vocal structure. So I would have first verse, pre, full chorus. Dude, I appreciate you so much. What do you have planned? Well, so we'll both be working in the morning, and then I'm gonna get a bunch of groceries tomorrow, and we'll cook a nice steak dinner. For us, it's like just taking time off. taking any level of time off is a massive celebration to us. So we'll work in the morning, and then we'll cook a nice steak dinner, and maybe just take the evening off, watch a movie, have some fun. We might go do some stuff in town as well, do some crafts downtown and some whatever fun stuff. But yeah, just taking some time. 100%. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joseph. I appreciate it. Okay, so verse, pre-chorus, chorus, rap verse, straight to chorus. That's the way that I would structure early. Rap verse straight into chorus. Then you can do like a low bridge, like you already have a little bit of that in here, a low bridge, last chorus, and that's it. If there's any extra fluff, if there's now like a second half of another verse, another long pre-chorus with different lyrics on it now, and like a second low hook, it gets really confusing. This is one of the things that like the generated stuff is just terrible at, is it just takes all of the stuff that you dumped into it. It takes all of these lyrics and stuff, and even if you structure it somewhat well, it can still just kind of place it places, right? It just puts it in a spot that can be really unflattering to the lyric structure, and it can feel really run on. It can feel like it has too much going on. So what I would do is give it very, very specific structure, and then of course, as you get instruments and musicians on this, you can formulate it a little bit better and make sure that everything's really concise. But I will go verse, verse, pre-hook, hook, rap, hook, bridge, hook. And that's it. That's like concise, no extra, no double at the end. Keep it really concise. And if there's extra, maybe it's a different song. Maybe you can rewrite some things to make that extra fit in there. But if it feels too run on, and then the song just gets monotonous, you start to lose interest after a certain amount of time, just because your brain just starts to kind of tune out. It's like, now I've heard this dynamic before. I've heard this kind of sound design before already, and I need something to change. So I do think it would be nice to shift that just a little bit, make this a little bit more concise. Like this can kind of be like a bridge or something like that, and then one big hook, boom, song's done.
Still, like love was reminding me I mattered still. Maybe we break when we don't understand. Maybe pain just keeps changing the shape of our hands. But I'm still here breathing, still here reaching. Don't let love become the water. I was drowning, but I didn't break.
Then back to hook again, right?
You can't take what you tried to take. I survived every second you made me hate. Now the water don't feel the same. I'm not shrouded in all your blame. Yeah, I carry the weight and pain, but I learned how to swim through rain. A weight in the water.
Yeah. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love. Eric, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for sending this in. So the best solution is finding better phrasing then. If it's a story you can't cut out, then we need to rephrase, right? It's exactly what we were talking about. I don't know if you were here earlier when we were talking with, I can't remember the name, one of the artists earlier. Is if the story that you're telling doesn't fit in a structure, you have one of two options. One is it is what it is and you let it be. You can still enjoy it the way that it is. You just probably won't get traction for it because structurally it doesn't have the pattern recognition of what people are going to be able to latch onto, what they're going to remember at all, right? That's one part of it. You can just be like, it's going to be longer. It's going to have 3 different choruses. It's going to have a couple verses and whatever. It might be confusing, but it is what it is. And you can just live with it and try to produce it out from there. That's not a wrong answer, right? Now, if you want as many people as possible to hear it, I think what the skill on the writing side is how do I then mold what my story is into a format that is palatable, that is like digestible by the listener, by the consumer. That's what I would work on. Same as we were talking about with the other artists. It's like, if you find that your hook takes 2 hooks to tell, then we need to find a way to consolidate. If you can't cut parts of the story, then we need to manipulate the lyric structure to where you can tell it within those 16 bars of one hook or whatever it may be, right? That's what I would focus on. And this is the struggle with a lot of people that I've consulted with and worked on that are generating music, but they're using all of their lyrics, but the lyrics don't necessarily come in like a clean song format. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when they're like writing poetry or they're writing stories and then they input it to build the production and give it notes, to like prompt it. there's not like a cohesive structure of it yet, and that just makes it a lot more difficult for people to latch onto it. It's just they won't remember it. It doesn't have the structure. So what I would focus on is how can we tell that this is the skill of the songwriter, right? This is where the songwriting skill comes into play. Is how do I tell this story, but in a form and a format that makes sense, right? And if there's lyrics where like, man, I'm spending 12 words saying this one thing, how do I get that down to 6 to where it fits the same syllables? How do I so I can fit these other lyrics in here and pack in a little bit more like density, like, structure and like lyric density, where it makes a little bit more sense. That's what I would focus on. Cause there are some we've talked through already, like some good lyrics in here. There's some good structure in here, but the length of how many different variations the prompt kind of has to go through in order to like make that fit. After about, I mean, we're 3 minutes and 45 seconds, about 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the song. After about 90 seconds, the brain has slowly started to switch off a little bit because it's hearing the same energy. It's hearing kind of the same, format. And so we need to find some ways to consolidate a little bit to get this into a pocket that I think is a little bit more palatable, because there's potential, but that's what I would focus on. That to me is one of the most important skills as a songwriter, is the ability to like, I could just say, I love you, or I could say this other version of something that means I love you, but it expounds a little bit. Or if we're already too expanded, finding ways to consolidate what we're saying to where it fits syllable counts, it fits phrasing, it fits rhymes, whatever it may be. That's where that skill is going to come in. And that's where you can kind of focus a little bit more, if that makes sense. You also show some love to Eric. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for sending that in. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think the best solution is consolidation and reframing and rephrasing. So you're still telling the whole same story, still telling the same story, but in a way that fits a little bit better. You also show some up to Eric. I appreciate you, man. Thank y'all so much for the music today, for your generosity today. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm gonna hop off of here. I've gotta get to bed. I've got an early morning. We will be live again tomorrow in the afternoon. So if you would like to get your music heard, definitely make sure that you tap in for that. As far as I'm aware, we'll be live tomorrow. Yeah, we should definitely be live tomorrow. So definitely make sure that you're all following on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, of course, and we'll open up the line again for some more music tomorrow. Love and appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have an amazing, amazing rest of your day, rest of your night, and hopefully we'll see some of y'all tomorrow. Peace.